All right, streaming.
Okay. We will call the budget meeting for the Board of Supervisors for October 22nd, 2025. With the pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Does anyone have any amendments they would like to make to the agenda, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion on it? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The agenda is approved. So before we start with the tax assessment, does any of the supervisors have any opening comments they'd like to make?
None for me.
No, I don't either. So I'm going to hand over the meeting to our manager and our accountant.
Okay. So we're going to start up here on the screen. So for our proposed budget for 2026, total receipts we're projecting at $4,133,650. Year to date, we've gotten a little over 3.3 million. And then we'll go down to the expenditures. Maybe I'll just read it to you guys, because jumping back and forth up there is just a little difficult. Yeah, it's a lot easier with a mouse. Okay, total expenditures budgeted for 2026 is at, for draft budget, $5,499,556.80. The year to date for 2025 is a little bit over $4 million. Our budget, though, was projected at, for 2025 at 4.9 million, a little over that. So it has increased, and what we can do is we can go down, I'm sorry, no, let me back up real quick. I want to just tell you what our deficit would be for 2026. It's projected at a little over 1.3 million at $1,365. I'm sorry, $65,906.80. And so that is what we need to make up for. Jen and I and Shane went down this budget a lot of times. Some of this is from our utility bills increasing significantly. And then just items that we can't help that went over this year, and we went over all of those items in our previous meeting at 4 p.m. for a financial review. We went into great depth about that. And so we really tried, and we can go through this line by line, and we can look at the big items which would make a difference if you want to try to decrease that deficit. But as it stands right now, this is what staff is recommending with the deep thought that we have processed. And like I said, we'll go down all of that. So we're just going to start with revenue, just because it's at the top, unless you guys want to start somewhere else. But let's just do our projections, if you're okay with that.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, so for our, that's our cash, just to look at our cash balance, we're projecting a little over 2.1 million for the 26 budget. For 2025, we projected just a little over 2 million, and we've already gotten in more than 2.3 million. So that's our total cash on hand. That's because of our interest, our bank accounts. That's what our accounts hold right now. Jen, please jump in if you think you need to add anything. Okay. We'll go down to real estate taxes. So if you look at current real estate taxes, year to date for 25, we're at approximately a little over $830,000. And we had projected 825,000. So we're just going to, staff is recommending that we just keep it at 825,000, unless you would like to adjust that.
Which line item, sorry?
What?
That's
Which-
301.
Gotcha. No, we should keep that the same for now, because that will really be an outcome of this exercise, correct?
Correct.
No, but it was too small.
Then you can make it 115.
So what do I do? So, sorry, we just want to make this better so that I'm not fumbling through here with you guys. I have to keep moving this, so I just want to make it right the first time. No, it's up here. This is where we have to control it.
See this thing right here at the top where the number's in, right above there? See where the share button is, the green share button?
Yeah.
Right underneath that, there is a little drop down, that one, yeah, click that one and go to show tabs only. It gets rid of some of that stuff, and yeah, some of that stuff you can just click off. That X there, you should be able to click off, and that, yeah, you click that, you should be able to make it smaller.
Oh, I
Is
see.
that a little bigger? That's a little bigger, and then
And you
it
guys can
is-
see this?
I can see that better.
yeah,
Okay.
and then at the very bottom, you can make that 100 instead of 115. Just like right click on that, yeah, and change it in the little box there. Yeah, there you go. And there you should be able to see everything now. Or at least see it from. Well, now you still can't see everything now.
There you go.
Smaller, please.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was trying to help make it bigger, but
so that I don't have to keep going back and forth.
yeah, I don't know why yours isn't
Do yourself a
showing up the
favor,
way
sorry.
mine is.
Scroll to the far left and expose column A. Okay, now put your cursor in cell F. Scroll up a bit, scroll up. There, okay. Now put your cursor in cell F5. Click in F5. Go up to view. And then go to where it's freeze pane somewhere. Where is it at? Oh, see where it says freeze panes?
Yeah,
Now,
on the right, right above where township is. See freeze paint, panes? Right
Oh, right
beside
here.
that, yeah, right beside
And then
that.
hit unfreeze. Then go back to it again. And then hit freeze panes. That'll keep the account numbers and the account locked, so when you scroll to the right, you can.
oh my gosh, look at that go.
Oh, wow, Dean, thanks. I didn't know you could do that either.
That was helpful. Okay.
I don't know, I'm so used to wanting to see.
Now you can make it
everything
bigger
on
so
one
that-
time.
Now you can take it back to like 115 or 20%, so that way the numbers are larger.
Very good. Okay. Thank you so much. I am a Word document guru. That is my forte. Jennifer's and you is our Excel.
I
Okay.
don't know as much as Dean does, as far as these little quirk things.
So now you can scroll to the right, and that way you'll should expose 25 year-to-date, 25 budget, any of the comments right there.
Okay.
Is that better?
Right there. Yep.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Much better.
All right. So then does everyone agree that this should remain 825,000?
My only question is, right now, year-to-date, we're at 833K. Are we done? Is there anything coming in the last quarter?
We should get some more, but it varies from month to month, so I can't really,
Just ballpark.
it just, I don't know what, some months it's it's really small, and then other months it's.
So
it's
is it
more.
5,000 small or is it 10,000 small? I'm just trying to get a sense. What's the average if you
I
just,
don't know, Dean, I have to, hold on a minute,
sorry.
I can tell you in a
The
second.
the only reason I'm asking is because if we're at
I
8,
left this up for a reason. Hold
if
on.
we're at 833 now, 9 months through the year, and let's just say it averages an extra 10K a month, there's an extra 30K there, right?
Mhm.
So that would say, oh, we're going to end at about 860 in that line item. Well, we're at 825. Why would we expect it to go down? It's real estate taxes. We're not, assessment values aren't going to go down.
So what's your number? 840?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the last quarter would bring in ballpark wise.
Actually, yeah. We probably are pretty close to being done.
Okay, then if we're done, then we should
Yeah,
probably
looking at
sit
the
there.
ledger, because this is one that Kathy collects, so, yeah, it just depends. She gets more like towards the middle of the year, but now it's like really petering out. Like the last one that I got from her was like $223.50. So
Let's see.
I think everything she's getting anymore is would be like delinquent stuff, so, yeah. So that's probably pretty close to what we're gonna get.
I'd rather err on the low
Yeah,
side.
I wouldn't change it based
Yeah,
on what
leave
we're
it there.
hearing. Okay, so yeah, no change there.
And then our next one is prior year taxes, which we're pretty much on target with that.
Yeah, that hasn't really changed a whole lot.
The delinquent taxes then, once again, we're pretty on target with that as well. So is everyone okay with your total real estate taxes?
Yes.
I am.
Okay. Other taxes, so per capita tax current year, we kept it the same. We have brought in $22,076 year to date, and we're proposing to keep it at 22,000. Are you okay with that?
Well, it's been declining year over year, so I'm going to say yes.
So Kathy did tell me that I don't remember the number she gave me now, but we have almost 9,000, or maybe even a little over residents. But she only bills out like 6,000 or less for per capita. And she said it's because there's no way to know who's living in what. And she only has the information she has. And whenever county gets an update, she deals with it. But it's a very hard thing to enforce. But when her and I talked about it, about, what could she do to maybe try to figure that out, she goes, you'd be spending more money than what you even bring in for that line item. So that was the, gist to that.
And the per capita is what, $5.90 if you pay it on the discount,
Yeah.
right?
What is the frequency of the county recalculate?
You mean for the real estate, or for the per capita tax?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Do they do it frequently or is it years?
That I also
Okay.
don't know, unfortunately.
The bottom line is the trend's down on them, and so,
Yeah.
given what you said, I wouldn't change any of it.
Oh,
No.
Jen was just saying they might use the census. So, and I know that they're even backed up in doing property assessments and stuff, so they're also probably behind on that as
You're
well.
not making up $1 million hole with $22,000 line items.
The next one is per capita prior year. We did exceed that by almost 6,000. I'm sorry, we almost exceeded the 3,000 budgeted by almost 3,000. So we're almost at 6. We have proposed to just keep it at 3. I don't think that's one that's predictable.
It's not, and that was probably just kind of like a windfall for whatever reason. But yeah, most of the time, we don't get that much from the prior year per capita.
It does look like consistently we've been getting over 4,000 at least every year.
Yeah, I mean, that might be the only, but it's still a downward trend. The most I would go is 4,000, in all honesty,
Okay.
if you wanted to make that change.
Jen, do you want me to highlight these when I make a change?
Yeah, because it's gonna be different than from the one that I'm looking at.
How do I,
Right click or left click? Right click.
okay.
There you go.
Okay, so real estate transfer taxes, we project, or in our draft budget, 300,000. But we, year to date, we have gotten, $432,596 and some change.
Yeah, and this is where the bluebirds or windfalls come from, when one of the big warehouses transfer ownership. And right now, the only thing we know is what,
Core five.
Core five,
2 buildings need to be.
but
And
that could
could
happen
get-
this year,
Exactly that one. Mhm.
given where things are at, because they're already moving pretty far along to come to us and ask for
They
whatever
just
they
need the
ask for.
stoppage, yeah.
Yeah, so,
I can tell you according to our actuals, because we do actuals back to 2022 in this proposed budget, and it looks like the least amount that we've received is 263,000.
I mean, in the absence of better knowledge, I mean, if those core five buildings sell, what we say it was, we get maybe $5,000 for every $1 million of sale price, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Okay, so do you want to leave that there?
I mean, so I guess where I was headed is, if a building sells for $10 million, you get $50,000. And if that happens, it would happen more likely in this year, so that would
That we
give
know
us,
of.
that would give us a little bit of, it would make the deficit we talked about earlier kind of go away. We'd end the year as we're thinking, which is probably break even.
That's
You know?
correct. Yep.
So all that being said, I'm of the opinion that 300K in that line item is probably pretty good.
Well, let's talk about that. We already have 432 in there year to date. So,
Okay, I'm so sorry. I just
Go
wanted
ahead.
to say it just fluctuates is all, so that's why it's an unreliable
All right,
number.
we're still erring on the right way.
We're being conservative.
Yes,
We are being conservative there if you like keeping that number.
yes, okay.
Okay. Earned income, we kept it the same at $1,550,000. Currently, we have in over 1.3 million year to date. So I guess my question would be to Jen, we are expecting more, correct? To fulfill this?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one, actually, I'm sorry, when we were talking about the real estate earlier, I was getting mixed up with them. The earned income we get monthly, and that we should have, I've gotten October's already, it should be tallied into that, but we should get November's and December's yet. So, like I said, that was the one that like varies from month to month too, depending, so.
Right, so
but
you can't.
We should be close to that, so.
Make sure, Jen, that I heard that correctly. So you can't take that 1.3 million number year to date and divide it by 9, right? To then multiply by 12. Because you're saying it comes in
You need to
chunks.
divide it into an even number monthly.
Like to
You
try to get
can't.
an estimate of what we're
This year,
getting.
Yeah,
monthly-
it varies.
monthly average.
Hold on,
Big-
let me bring up the ledger here.
Yeah, because
quickly
if you
and see.
just do it straight line average, we'd wind up at
Yeah, that's what I was
1.8.
gonna say, if I can, let me look at the ledger here. I feel like I'm dinking with this, I'm not used to this little computer.
Theoretically, if that would be the case, we would go over.
We'd be at 1.8 million.
Yeah.
If it's straight line. And
Right.
I just want Jen to confirm that, yeah, there's reasonable, whether it comes in quarterly or bi-monthly or whatnot, is it a decent trend? Because budgeting at 1.5, I know we did that based on where we were historically. The year before, in 24, we were at we ended with 1.6. And we didn't want to go over because we were uncertain what would happen with the economy. 'Cause that moves along with all the folks that reside in this township, and their earned income tax comes out of their paychecks and remitted to us, which is that 1%?
That comes out of their paychecks,
Yeah,
1%?
It's 1%, right? Earned income tax?
Is earned income, I should know this, but it's escaping me. Is it 1% for earned income tax, Jen?
Yes.
Okay,
Thought so.
I have it in my notes.
So, I just want to find out where we're going to end this year. Because if we're going to end it like between 1.5 and 1.6, I'd say for 26, yes, no adjustment.
Yeah, just looking down through here, it looks, I would say the lowest one we have is 92,000, but then the highest one we have is 202,000. So
So bottom line is it comes in chunks,
Yeah.
but sounds like it's pretty reoccurring, so.
yeah, I would say, yeah, there's probably just a guesstimate, like 200 more thousand probably we'll get,
Okay.
maybe a little more.
So
So,
straight line gets us to 1.8, you take, and you said, what, about 200,000, that's gonna take us to almost 1.6. I would suggest that for 2026, that we take that to at least 1.65 million.
Okay, I'm sorry, 1.6?
1.65, so add 100,000 to it, at least. Because we have seen some indications of, well, with the federal government shutdown, layoffs, state hasn't passed their budget, I think that's starting to impact folks as well. And some businesses are seeing some, cutbacks.
Yeah. Okay, the next one is local services tax. We did increase that a little. So Jen, I'm gonna let you do your logic in this. We, year to date would be $191,750. We budgeted $220,000, but we're projecting for 2026, $240,000.
yeah, I raised that one a little bit, and it was just kind of because of looking back. And if you look, it seems like we've gotten, we've gotten like 285 for 2022, 241 for 23, and then 280 for 2024. So I just upped it a little bit. I guess you all could up it maybe a little more if you wanted, but I just kind of went for 240 because that was like the lowest one that we had gotten.
Well, my
241.
my
So-
concern is the trend's downward sloping, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking 240 is probably right.
Okay. Okay, so moving on. We're in licenses, permits, fees, and fines. This has consistently been $450 because we only have one beverage license in our municipality that we get paid from the state for. Land use permits, this fluctuates. We have brought in year-to-date $60,551. We had budgeted for $150,000, so we decreased this line item to $100,000. And if you look at the, 2022 actual, 23, 24, we're actually showing a significant decrease.
Yes, that's what I thought as well.
Well, and that's because, right, their development has slowed down a fair bit, right?
Keep going.
Oh, okay, sure. So, yeah, it has slowed down. You're right. I mean, those other years, we were doing new construction and, we haven't had any new construction permits this year for commercial or industrial. And that's where the large part or chunk of those were coming in at. So we have a significant decrease since
And so for
years ago.
this year, 2025, it's highly unlikely that we're gonna make up another $90,000 to close that line item off.
Correct.
So I think 100K is being conservative for next year.
Yeah,
Because we
I'm
don't
not
know.
aware of anything that would be getting built next year.
I mean, there's talk of, I guess, some stuff potentially, but potential doesn't amount to anything.
No, because, there's land development plans in the process, but they will not be doing construction in in 2026. The
Gotcha.
only way that would happen is if we got a smaller project, because that would be more realistic for a very small project to do.
So, yeah, I think 100K is fine in that line item.
Okay.
I think the other line items, I mean, there's only 3 big ones there, right? The zoning permits and the cable TV and motor vehicle fines. Everything else kind of pales in comparison, does it not?
Yeah, that they all look, I mean, we did decrease cable TV fees, but let's face it, a lot of people are getting rid of their cable TVs and streaming.
Yeah, I did look at this
Use the
one.
cloud.
How can we capture that?
How can we what?
How can we capture any dollars from,
I asked this question last year. You guys said the same thing. I think Dean had brought that one up, and I actually reached out to the attorney who did that contract for us, and he said, you can't, there's no way to charge for the streaming services.
Right.
You just can't, you legally can't do it on, like, it's a federal law.
okay, I didn't mean to charge the residents, I meant to charge the companies like DirecTV, I get DirecTV streaming. So we do get something for Direct, right? Or not?
We are actually due one more payment for that. That comes in quarterly. And it's ranging about 25 grand and some change each time. So
Yeah,
that'll go up by around 25 more grand, yeah.
I just
For
heard,
year end.
I just heard loud and clear last night for all the people that were there at last night's meeting about how we can, I forget the term they used, create more cash flow with our industrial partners.
No, Attorney Miller just told me today, because I asked him that question once again, which I already knew the answer to, is that we're legally not allowed to do that.
Okay, we're legally not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
And we're gonna put that, that's one of the questions on the Q&A that, because I'll have to, just to briefly say, I know that you were there yesterday, but I know I'm getting a little on topic, but we're gonna address all those questions, and then we'll have the solicitor review it, and then we can put it on the website.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think from now recalling last year's discussion, we realized that because there's really nothing we can do, that cable TV fees over time will eventually, they'll continue on a downward trend. So
Yeah, that's correct.
we're not moving that in an upward direction. Vehicle motor fines.
Are we expecting more vehicle motor fines?
Yeah,
Okay, so there's one more quarter worth of those.
I mean,
yeah,
we're,
that actually is one that,
Is it monthly?
yeah. But it varies too, so.
I wouldn't change it because even the history was always kind of slightly over
And,
40.
yeah, because it depends how many fines they give out.
Yeah.
Well,
And-
we are getting one more PPE now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see that being changed in an upward direction, frankly.
Okay. And so do you see anything else wrong with this section that you'd like addressed?
I don't. I'm happy to move on unless there's other questions.
Oh,
If
sure.
Dean's happy, I'm on.
Oh, okay. All right. Interest, we've kept that at 75,000. We're on track for that at $73,387.
And again, that's our cash reserves that we're holding on to.
Yeah, I kept that the same because I don't, from what the markets are looking like, I don't foresee that we're gonna get a huge windfall again. Like if you look at 23 and 24, we got like 275,000 in 23 and 172,000 in 24. I don't think we're gonna get that for a few years at least.
No, and I agree with you.
It might even go down
Yeah, I mean, I
So.
wouldn't over project
from
on.
everything I've been seeing.
I wouldn't over project. I just wanted to make the point that those cash reserves are sitting there for the reasons that we mentioned, that in the event of some natural disaster or some need, we've got that cash to pull on. So that's why we're generating that much in interest. So no reason to change that based on what Jennifer said. So-
And a little note on that, those cash reserves is what we predominantly and traditionally use throughout the years to offset our deficits. Am I right? Ms. Manager?
That's correct.
So those funds, that account, that savings account, which I'd like to call, that everybody has in their bank, is slowly dwindling, so,
Mhm.
okay.
We're gonna jump down to our recycling grant. That's unreliable because one year we didn't even receive it. So we did, budget just 15,000, even though we brought in a little over 42,000. It's just the safe thing to do because once again, at any year, they could just say, we're not doing it this year.
Yeah, there
So-
were a couple years that we didn't get anything, and then, I think it's like, you can't see it on here, but, I have like back to 19, and I believe it was 19, that we got like two of them for the same one because they were behind. So we ended up getting a double payment for 2 years worth of it for 1 year, and then we didn't get one the year before that, so.
Okay.
And they do seem to be behind. I think this last one that we got this year was marked for 23, so they're actually like 2 years behind on that, so.
Wow.
I mean, is there anything of significance in that particular section that we think's gonna change? I mean, you increased one by $1,000, the public utility realty tax, and I mean, based on the trends, it doesn't look like, and what also added to what Jennifer said, nothing of significance would materialize. That recycle grant, as you mentioned, is concerning, because it's not guaranteed, right?
Correct.
And even though we have 2 years of it, I guess close to 3 at 40, I mean, if we did anything there, I might throw another $5,000 in, maybe take it to 2,500, but it is a risk. That's the only thing I'd probably be willing to do. I don't know how the other board members feel.
What would you guys like to do?
You talking about moving that line to 25,
Mhm.
and we're year-to-date 42. I think that's prudent.
Okay, yes, Daryl?
Sure. I'm gonna move that up to 25.
Yeah, I was looking at the numbers there, why we jumped up to 42 already this year.
Well, the year before it was 42, the year before that it was 33, but it's not guaranteed, and that's the risk.
Is that a safe
Oh,
number?
thank you.
I mean, we've got 42 now, and I assume you're not hearing that they're ending that program or whatever it's from.
It just depends on if they have money to give out that grant,
Yeah.
and we don't know that. So
And is that a federal or state grant?
I think that's a state grant.
And so without the state budget being passed,
Yeah, that's definitely a state thing. The recycling is a state thing,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't push it more than 25 right now.
Are you guys
I
okay?
agree, yeah.
Okay. All right, so I heard you say that you're okay with this section then. Does anyone else have any issues or comments on this section?
No.
Very good.
Anyone?
No,
Speak up if you do, please.
Charges for services. So we are keeping a lot of these the same because of the projection. Now, the subdivision and land development fees that we brought in, $4,306. That fluctuates as well. It depends on the market and what developers are doing, so we can't rely on this. So we have it at 3,000.
well,
Sure.
sorry, Christy, the biggest line item there is the proceeds from debt issuance, but we're not doing any debt in 26, are we?
No, that's that is our literal amount that we owe, correct, for 2026. We have to have that in there. That's our principal.
Yeah, it offsets with the,
The liability.
what numbers? 471 and 47100, I believe it is.
And
Yeah, the
that,
debt, it offsets with the debt service.
I can honestly say, the reason why we did that was because the auditors, so it
And
was
yeah,
like
that
that
was
last
the-
year as well.
Special revenue, he told us we had to do that, remember? Yeah, and I think I have a blurb there about that 2025 budget amount adjusted for the special revenue.
I know, I'm just shaking my head because I'm not gonna argue with the auditors. They do the state auditing stuff. I'm just gonna throw my hands in the air and be like, okay, I'm sorry.
Is it one of those things that's different from business practice?
Radically different in my
Yeah,
opinion, but,
government works different.
and to be fair to them, and no disrespect to you, Jen, it's, I don't understand the why, and there's clearly a why, because they ask you to do it so that they could move forward with the audit and issue a clean opinion on our financial statements, which we've successfully had for years now,
Correct.
right? So I'm not willing to, that's what they want, that's where it's staying, and I'll acquiesce.
Does anyone else have any comments on this section?
Nope.
All right.
So where does that take our revenues now?
Our revenues are at $4,244,650.
So we jumped up by $111,000, which, okay.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yep, that did help.
Now the
Yep, expenditures.
round two begins.
All right, so we're on general government section. So supervisor salaries, we kept the same.
That line item, I think you could, are you factoring in a raise for, possibly 28? No raise for 26 or 27?
Well, so since you guys have opted to not go forward with passing the rise of the supervisor salary in one of the previous financial review meetings,
Yes.
we're keeping it like that, but you guys can pass that resolution anytime after January 1, 2026, and it would take effect in the next election.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I realize that, I
like
just
until
didn't
you
want
were
the number inflating if we're not using it.
Oh, correct, right. And that is not what's happening here. That is based off of what has always, there's no change,
Okay,
no change.
Yeah, I just put that comment over there just so we'd have that number and Christy and I didn't have to dig it up somewhere.
Right.
Once we got to that year when it,
because to reiterate, what Christie said is, no one is planning on floating that motion to increase our salaries.
Correct. Materials and supplies, we kept the same. We're coming in under that, a little over $3,000 year to date. General expenses, we kept the same. So that is, we came in under so far, almost $6,000 year to date. Professional service, and stop me whenever you want to talk about something, but otherwise I'm going to keep it moving, okay?
Yep.
Okay. So we kept professional services the same. We're coming in pretty close, but that would be Julie for our minute taking, Microsoft, Adobe, our web design. The only thing is, Jen, I'm going to ask you, like when we go to redo our website, is this the line item that would come out of, or would that come out of something else?
it could, professional services is more, it's more the people who are running it, do you know what I mean?
What about
And
capital
you're actually
expense?
having it, yeah, if you're like actually redoing the whole thing or getting a whole new thing.
What about capital
It could be like a
expense?
capital expense.
Yeah, that's where I would think it would come out of, the website
We
redesign.
didn't get there yet, huh?
No, that's 474, that's the end of this one.
So
Okay.
do we see a dramatic increase in Julie taking minutes for special meetings and stuff?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yes. It depends on what, our next year looks like. I mean, the only thing major that we are dealing with would be that data center, ordinances. And, I mean, we're gonna probably begin dealing with that, in the next process still in this year because we're on a timeline.
So we're at $6,000 roughly year to date in that line item. We had budgeted
We're at actually 7.5.
7,500.
Oh, am I in the wrong line item?
Yeah.
Yes, I are. Sorry. Okay.
So we're close right now.
Well, what I would do if you want more money in the professional service line item, I would take and reduce the 15K in general expenses a bit.
Okay, what would you
That's-
like me to set that up?
That's the
if
way
you
I'd
guys
move
are
it
all okay
around.
with
That'd
that?
be my recommendation.
Yeah, we could take 1,000 from that and put down and make it $9,000. That was 14.
I'd probably move 2, just.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was
because-
gonna say. Let's do 2, so then it makes it even then. It'll be
Okay.
10.
Okay, next to you.
Yeah.
So you, okay,
Yeah,
overall
because
you cut
we are gonna be
$1,000.
close to that because we get the Microsoft and the Adobe and the web design, we pay monthly, so we still have 2 more months yet to pay on those, so they'll be on there. So yeah, that's gonna be really close. If not,
Right.
we'll get over
Yeah, so-
till the end of the year.
If
So-
we go with another outfit too for the website in order to do this, I don't know what that looks like. I mean, I got estimates from other municipalities and what they paid, but I don't know what that looks like for us in the year 2026 though, with all the prices rising.
It's gonna be our best guess.
Yep.
Based on what you have, and it should be in the capital expense line item.
Okay.
So do you have any ballpark estimates from talking to other people?
It was like anywhere between $3,000 and like $6,000.
Okay,
Okay.
so less than 10.
Yeah.
So I plan on speaking tonight, supervisor comments then about, Jason and I were talking after last night's meeting, and we can do an email blast similar to what the school does. What that would require was that individual residents would have to register their email addresses with us. And that would be gathered and accumulated whenever there's anything special going on, special meetings, anything like the data center change going up to the fire hall, we can put that in an email blast, but I don't know how much that would cost. I have no idea.
I do think that when we do the new website, that we should figure out a mechanism with the website, because I do know things like Savvy Citizen, all you have to do is update Savvy Citizen and it updates the people and your website all at once. I don't have to go to multiple outlets to do notification.
Okay, but we don't have any hard numbers, so I
No,
think we should stay with that, and we can talk about that when I bring it up in supervisor comments,
okay.
since we don't have any numbers to go by tonight.
Sure. Telephone, we increased that. Jen would have worked out the numbers through our bills to figure out that we're probably gonna have to, increase this number.
Yeah, I just tried to level it off because nothing's going down, let's say that.
Is
So I
this,
assume since that's sort of like a utility for us, it's probably gonna go up some.
I have a question real quick. Is that where our, cell phones and, if we get like accessories to the cell phones come out of? Okay, so just so you guys know, our phones are very old. And so next year, we're way overdue for an upgrade. And I already have batteries exploding out of 4 phones
T-Mobile and
now.
Verizon are giving free phones.
We do get free phones, but the accessories is what costs money because we're government. We get the free phones.
You're talking cell phones?
Talking about cell phones.
We're talking about
So what's,
Pelican cases, and hard cases and stuff, because guys use them out in the road.
I delayed it because of what we were going through the past couple of years trying to, save, but it's time, guys. We
Okay.
have to do it. We're there.
So I ask a basic question. Everyone
Sure.
gets the same phone, same case, everything like that for your guys?
Yes, but then I have backup phones, so you'll see some guys have even older phones because if the phone broke or whatever, those guys are doing construction and stuff and
Right.
they'll fall or whatever. But then I have backup phones so that I don't have to go out and buy more. So I do keep phones on backup.
Well,
Yeah.
it's good management.
Yes, but they are older phones then. Okay, all right, so we're okay with that. I'm just gonna put a little note in here so that I remember. Cell phones 2.
Sorry, I'll fix it then.
Okay, so the next one, computer maintenance, we did increase that. Where's my year-to-date at? Yes, we're mighty close to that. So we we're trying to account for,
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
all
fine.
right, very good. So then we get to
Advertising.
postage. We didn't put anything in because we just did a significant increase in our postage.
Yeah, I just bought a bunch of stamps, but then now that I'm thinking of it though, we should have something in there, maybe like 500 or 400, something like that.
I do.
Because of
Just
the
put
code
five,
enforcement letters and everything.
just put
that
500
we
in.
down separately.
yeah,
Okay,
And that comes out, like, I'll do a petty cash for that, and then it comes out when I re-up that.
very good, yep.
So, yeah, there should be something in there.
Vehicle allowance, we're at 600, which is the same. Advertising and printing, we increased because we've been doing a lot more with that, especially with our meeting relocations for the data center, which is going to continue into 2026. Insurance for E&O, that we increased a little bit. And mainly, we're just trying to account for rising costs.
Yep.
Bonding, it appears, so is that our last payment for bonding?
Yes. Mhm.
So 4,000 should be fine, that's what you're
Yep.
up to date.
Christie, refresh my memory and everybody else's memory. Who all was bonded?
It's me, Jen,
And Darren.
and Daryl, yep, because he is the backup secretary. Treasurer, you're the backup treasurer.
Okay, and what's the amount?
2 million.
Yep.
2 million.
I'm good, now I almost said 1 million. Equipment rental, we're at, we increased it. It says here in the notes, contract-based charge invoice. What was that for, Jen?
Remember, we talked about that earlier. I was asking you whether we were gonna have that again for next year, and I thought it was for the Dock Star.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so equipment rental is like our
So,
DocStar, which is our electronic scanning system, which our contract runs out at the end of next year, and I'm not renewing it because we have a different and better system that we've been,
updating,
yeah, completely updating for probably like a year and a half now. So
but,
we're phasing it out, and we'll keep the backup data.
and that includes our copier too, our big copier pays out of that, but that base charge will be paying, it's actually for our copier, it's not for the Dock Star. That's what me and Christy were trying to figure out whether it was.
Oh, so that one's not our
No,
DocStar.
that's the one we will have, because remember, I thought it was for Dock Star, but I changed it because it wasn't. When I actually looked at the bill, it said the Dock Star was already included, I guess, but that's the contract charge for the copier. So,
Okay.
yeah. So that will get yet, so that'll be added to the 4,600 then, however much that is. I just put the 2024 number on there, which was like $7,100, I believe it was on there,
Okay.
so.
Bank fees, we kept the same, we're coming in under so far. Dues and subscriptions, we're keeping the same and we're coming in a little under. Meetings, classes, and conferences, we're coming in under, which is shocking to me because we all did a significant amount of training this year. So
I think a lot more of it was were.
we were doing the free
more
webinars.
webinars than anything, which were
That comes with our
usually cheaper.
PSAT pass.
It's a little cheaper, yeah, when we have that.
That depends on the classes fall too, Christie.
Yes, that's true.
Some are a 2-year plan kind of thing.
Oh, and we are about due for our CPR AED too.
Yeah, that's like a 2 or.
That's
3 or
next year,
whatever.
I think.
Let's click on that next line and talk about that.
Capital expense.
Yes, the 7,500 for the EMC trailer that's listed there.
Yeah, we just did that for notes for you guys.
Yeah, I don't think that we can afford to make that purchase in 26. We have other purchases and other more important items than a trailer and cabin covers, in my opinion.
And would it, without that trailer, I mean, the job could still be performed safely and adequately?
Yes, the EMC trailer was like a mobile command center they could set up and would have cones and stuff in for traffic control and stuff, but we can suffice without that.
Okay, I would agree then.
The upgrade to the traffic lights, Shane, how many and when?
I put that in there as a placeholder just to remember, but yeah, that's completely.
Yeah, it's not all of them. It would only be 5 or 6, I believe.
How many lights do we have?
That do
9?
not have loop. 9 or 10, because we just added Lucas Point.
Yes.
Yeah, and, but funny you ask that, I was reading my emails here before we started. Greg Creasy is asking, which he helps the townships for free. Now, we still have to do paperwork, but there's a grant he asked me about like 8 months ago, for upgrading traffic signals. So if we could apply for that, it might help out for upgrades.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. None of the upgrades are needed. It's not a necessity, but getting rid of the loops nowadays in the roads, is huge. You know, they have to be marked and we pay CMI to mark them and things like that. Or if you get rid of the loops and you get all the radar, it makes things a lot easier, especially with the way the
My
town.
point is we could do onesie and twosies a year for the next couple of years.
So once and done, is that what the thinking is?
Well, by the time we get through all 10 lights, it'll probably, the technology will change and we'll have to start all
They'll
over.
be outdated by then, so.
Well, I do agree though, getting rid of the stuff embedded in the roadway
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes,
You know?
and I'm hoping our traffic signals, the maintenance starts decreasing a little bit for the past 2 years. Milt, you know, rest his soul, he did great for us, but our lights were behind the times, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But he was
kept
able to.
them shoestring together, as I always say.
So is that being covered in this line item then, Shane, this 100K? Is that where that's being covered, or is that gonna get covered somewhere else? The lights?
I don't know. See, I never saw that line.
Well, so the reason
We-
why, I just want to say.
Put a number in there and we figured
year
they
to
would
date.
talk about it.
Oh,
Year
okay,
to date.
okay.
But that's why
Well,
we put
the-
the short blurbs in there, because those were things that potentially we would be
Right.
using out of that line item. if
Oh,
it-
okay, to use
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for an upgrade, they're saying an average of $20,000.
So the reason why I put it
Yeah.
in there is because when we did our financial review meeting, we kept talking about I know that it's different from this line item, but we kept talking about the capital reserve fund. And that was one of the items you guys said you'd want to possibly come out of that maybe.
Yes.
And so what I did was I merely put that on there for a conversation starter is all.
Well, got
Okay.
us started.
Oh, sure did.
So I do agree, we did talk about the capital reserve fund for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to get that started so that we have something.
We need to put some seed money in there.
Yes, we'll have to take some,
So my point on the traffic lights, I'm thinking, did I hear 25,000 probably
20K a light is what I heard.
about per light? So if we do 2 a year and continue and see where the technology takes us, I think that would be the way to fly.
Right now, given our budget constraints, yes. And correct me if I'm wrong, that no liquid fuel money can be used for that, right?
I have to look into that. I'm not sure about that.
So that would be a windfall. if
It would be. The grant would be a great windfall if it.
We-
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So the bottom line is we need to put that expense in for 2 lights, as Chairman Naylor mentioned. And then you'd be looking to see liquid fuels, grant money.
Yeah.
Okay.
That just reminded me of something. We must have missed it, but we put in that we got a grant of $1,500 for our,
Safety.
from
Payment.
payment for that grant that I applied for. Well, with Shane, I'm sorry, I'm taking a lot of credit for that one. 'Cause I wrote that
I
one.
see it in the phone.
And I was so happy that I got a grant finally approved, that I did. It was for the trench box, that's what it's called.
Yeah, it was in your comments there. I see it.
Okay. When,
$1,500 is $1,500.
yeah, exactly. So anyways, do you have anything else for this item, to talk about? Do you think 100,000 is adequate? We kept it the same?
I'd say for now, we could keep it there. do think, depending on where we get to, we may need to circle back around, and then that, to me, that's that whole conversation about
Cutting.
setting up a capital fund then too.
Hmm.
You know, with some seed money.
And I do just want to say it for the record and remind everyone that this is one of those items that used to be millions of dollars. And so we really brought her down.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, historically, that's really where the building phases 1 and 2 came out of.
But even before that, it
Mhm.
was always significantly high in that line item.
And we were purposely saving for years for this building upgrade. That's where it came from.
Okay, so we're good here?
Yes.
Yep.
Very good.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get back on this. Administrative. So, salary for secretary, treasurer, manager, that would be me. We'd have to, increase this by 2.5%, now because the board did so wish to, increase by 2.5% for cost of living.
And that's consistent with the current cost of living inflation factor, right?
Correct.
Oh, why'd that round off like that? Did you see that?
Mhm.
I think Shane did that.
Why was that rounding?
Because it's format, so go up.
Yeah,
You can right-click on it or go up to the top and go to the home menu. If you're there, it should be a format button somewhere.
Somebody sells.
Format cells,
there you go.
and then change the decimal places from 0 to 1.
Look at you guys, you are so smart. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I even knew that.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Shane. That's our IT support.
Yep.
So right now, I'm actually gonna leave a note because Jen can then do this calculation
Yeah.
and
Yes.
update it per how it needs to be updated.
Just shade it yellow so that way she,
Yep,
one of her favorite colors apparently.
yep. And then next, auditors, we did increase that, but it's because remember,
It's the
he gave
contract.
us, yes, we're
They
on
have a
contract
scale
right
on
now.
that, yep.
That's right.
Nothing to do
That's
there.
beyond our control.
Correct. Then we get the tax collector. So, this one's not changed. We need to take this. So right now, the way this is sitting is if you did a millage increase, it would increase her, what she'd bring in. So we can put this back down to about, I don't know, 39.
It was 38, I think it was. I just left it at 38, I thought.
Then let's put it back to 38 for now.
Right, and so then we can, I'll make a note here that it was at 77. when we
Yeah, I
did
think that's
calculation.
how I had it before, and then I must have forgot to change that one back on that one.
That's okay. I'm just gonna highlight it, Jen, so that we can
That's,
talk
yep,
to
that's
it.
fine, yep.
All right, so then we get into her materials and supplies. We did increase this to 55, and it's because she desperately needs a new laptop. It is very outdated.
Who's she?
Kathy.
Okay. Sorry, Kathy.
And then we get into.
Is, I'm
oh,
sorry,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, 5,500 for a laptop?
No, that's not
No.
all of that, just
No.
part of
Okay,
that.
sorry.
Her materials and supplies, the majority of that is.
Paper, postage,
paying for the
yeah,
per
sorry.
capita
I just
thing.
felt,
Printing, all of that.
Yeah, or if she gets ink for her
I
printer.
had a
stuff
senior
like that,
moment, I
yeah.
had a senior moment, okay?
Oh, okay.
You were gonna start selling laptops.
I was thinking
it
like,
should be solid
wow.
gold.
Well, I'm glad you
For
did clear that
55.
up, because you're right, when I look back on that, that did sound bad, that's not what's happening here. Okay, so legal services, we kept it at 50,000, is this right? What part of legal services is this for? Is this for Andy, everything that Andy charges us?
Certain parts of it. There's a separate one for planning and zoning stuff that they do,
So,
like for the liens and all that and everything.
I mean,
So it gets split, his bill gets split up.
I feel like his bill is just so big that I can't fathom that that's all we paid this year.
but 24.
Well, the
we-
other one is
but-
414,314.
Sorry.
no, but in 24, it was 38 the year
Four
before.
one four three one four has, that's the majority of it. That one's 20, we have 24,500 in that one. That one's over, actually.
This one must be
That's
more
one of the
for,
ones
this
that-
is more for general services, right? Kind of.
General, yes.
Yeah, so my sense would be, I'd probably put it at like 25 or 30.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like that trend, well, it fluctuated, but yeah. Would you say take it to
Let's just take it down to 30.
30?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Sure.
The legal services, what's the average, Jen, for a regular meeting for Andy? What are his charges like? What are the fees that you pay?
His EMT bill is usually the biggest one a
It's
month.
usually like $5,000.
Yeah, but that
A
doesn't,
meeting?
No,
but that
No.
doesn't
a month.
include just him coming to the meeting. That's all, everything that he's done. Hold on one second, let me pull up the ledger for
But-
him and I can tell
His,
you.
he has a contracted rate with us, right?
Yes,
He
It's half,
does.
it's half his private.
Yeah, it's like
I think it's around
200, 200 or 250 an hour.
I do have that.
Because he's a senior partner in
Yeah.
his firm
I'm
versus,
just
Yeah.
curious.
yeah, if it's one of the other guys,
Rate increase, the zoning
Yep.
solicitor also had a rate increase this year.
and well, and like, they said he's the most expensive one. If we have, other ones that work for us, like for doing our liens and things like that, and he's cheaper, right, Corey?
Oh, yeah, we have a couple of different attorneys that when they do work for us, we get the lower price. And he does try to pan things off that he can so that we're not getting his price. But no, it's not at 240 right now, but he's projecting an increase to 240. I actually think it's 220 right now. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's somewhere around there.
does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just curious what he gets paid an hour.
Okay, so going back down, clerical services, so accountant. Well, once again, this is one of those things where Jen will have to do the equation because the board has elected to do 2.5% for cost of living. Do not change on me.
Yeah, it's
We don't
going
do it.
to.
We're gonna just highlight some of these that you have percentages on.
Just, I'll make a note of it, so it's 2.5 for everybody across the board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just highlight the cell and we can move on.
2.5.
Because it's in at 2%, so it's a 0.5% increase, so it's not going to materially
Yeah.
affect the bottom line across the board.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So remember, I just want to remind you, we got rid of the part-time office employee in order to achieve the full-time codes officer employee, which we've been planning for 3 years now and have made sure that, we would have the money eventually to do that. So this has been 3 years in planning. And Byron reminded me that we get our MS4 audit this year. And here's another unfunded state mandate where we're gonna have to start doing hard enforcement on floodplain requirements. So we are not staffed to do that. I will need somebody to start doing those inspections.
So what line item is that going in?
We didn't quite get there yet, but since I was just touching base on why we got rid of part-time,
Okay,
I just wanted to give the history.
thank you.
Yep. So then we get into municipal building and so general government supplies. we have-
Excuse me a minute.
Sure.
I'm gonna back up there. We're not gonna project any figure in that box.
The only thing I can say is, and I don't know how fast these processes go, but since one of the boroughs had said something in their public meeting, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I mean, it was a public meeting.
So,
but they said
so
it.
I'm saying, shouldn't we project like 40 grand in there to cover ourselves, so for the total?
In what line item?
In the part-time office employee.
There's no part-time?
We don't have anything projected there.
There's no
Right.
part-time?
What we paying them?
Yeah,
Where are
so,
we getting the money?
so I think we need to figure in there to draw out of. And who knows when we will pull that trigger and how, and what rate.
But, so, okay, so I heard about getting a full-time person.
Right.
You're articulating that we should have some money to potentially have a part-time person in addition to the full-time hire.
No, I'm not saying that. You're gonna replace, the part-time by full-time.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
somewhere else
that's
in the
in
line
another
item
line.
budget.
Oh, that's in the line, okay.
Yeah, that's a separate.
All right,
for
well, then we'll
code.
leave that
Yeah,
vacant.
it's a separate line item.
Oh, okay, I was getting a little worried for
Code.
I was getting nervous too. 'Cause I was-
All right, all right, we're gonna keep going.
Plow the road.
GG Insurance, once again, that was we talked about all of the things that we went over in the
What's
previous.
GG again, sorry?
General
General
government,
General government.
yes.
Oh, that's really creative. Sorry.
Oh, so wait a minute, so Jenna, why are we keeping this the same if it went over this year? Or does that?
I
something you
left it
just-
that way because I thought they might want this, I thought this one, they might want to throw it around and figure
Well,
what they wanted to put in it for this one since it's insurance.
Well, the prior year was 24, the year before that was half of it. So is this something that just came in, or is it the fact that rates significantly increased?
Let me look at
If
that.
you're not sure, I mean,
Well, then if anything, if that's the case,
to
then
me,
we should
I would-
probably put it to 30.
well, and I think when we were talking, we said, well, we're done for the year, that's the cost. So if anything, I'd say, yeah, probably go 30, because it's got an upward slope at this point.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Sorry, I'm slow with this little computer.
Yeah, you're fine, yeah.
While she's looking up that, I'm gonna just keep going.
Yep.
Yeah.
General government electricity, we increased because of the estimated 30% increase. And, you know, just to verbally say, Jen and I did our research and we went onto the PJM, site and was reading the why, and we all know why this is
So-
happening.
Sorry, but we're only at a little over $8,000 year to date. Are you telling me we're gonna get another $7,000 in electricity costs in the last quarter of the year? Because that's what you're telling me.
The insurance, that's good. I think that you guys put it up to 30 because, yeah, it looks like 1, 2, 3, we get 4 of those. And
And
we
then-
paid them, so that should be the year end. I know, I'm sorry, must have not put that year end in there. Like I did the other ones.
What, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you got
Go
it.
ahead with Jen.
I was just gonna say, so you said 30 is the,
Yeah, and if you would, Chrissy, would you put in the end there that that's the 2025 year end? That 27, just so I know there.
So back to your question about
Thank
the
you.
electric rates.
Yes.
I think what we're paying, we're up to where is it? We're up to 8,300 on our current rate.
Mm-hmm.
So they're projecting to the end of the year plus that 20%
Yeah, that's-
or 30% increase.
So
in
it
rates.
basically says we're gonna be at 12 grand, worst case, just quick math, by the end of the year, assuming you're at 8 for 9 months, call it 1,000 a month to be simple, right? 12K, and you're gonna increase your rate by 30%, right?
Yes.
So
So what is
grab
that?
a calculator
Simple
and
math.
mess it up. I'm slow
oh,
right
it'd be
now.
a little over 15.
It's 15.6, it's
Yeah,
not
it's
20 grand
15.6, right.
in 26.
I don't know.
So I put like 16 grand in there.
Okay,
Just,
I can go with that.
General government gas, we're at, a little over 12,000 right now. We increased this because of the 12.8% increase that's projected.
okay.
Yeah.
And that,
Why don't we double
that's
that?
definitely wrong, that number.
24.
Why do I feel like these are a lot higher than when we originally did this?
Yeah,
we're-
I don't know. I remember when, that was the other day, at the end of the day, when we were figuring all this stuff out.
Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, just looking at that, that's like 50, more than 50%.
Is
That's
that
a 100%
year-end?
increase from the budget number, plus from year-to-date actuals.
Yeah, seriously though, I don't think those were the numbers me and her put in. I'm wondering if we just didn't hit save or something.
So you thinking 15?
In what, the gas line?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right,
I mean, you know, because what we at, 12?
13% increase. Look like.
let me hit save real quick. Make
Yeah.
sure we're saving this.
Good girl. You learned the hard way, didn't you?
Sure did.
Probably in the year it's 16 actually in gas, assuming that's a monthly number, which I doubt. I mean, that's Columbia gas, right?
Yeah.
I'd probably go with 16.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm sorry, we have to go back up. It's just line number 128, accountant.
Accountant. Yeah, what about accountant?
Okay. For 25 budget is 65,000. I assume it's the accountant Jen.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Why for budgeting 26 does her salary go down?
And I can answer that because originally for 2025's budget, we put that number in there and, that wasn't what I got. So that wasn't my actual salary.
This number shows this shows with a 2% increase from your actual salary. So it was actually, so she's allowed to get comp time, because she's hourly.
I just didn't want her to be cheated.
No,
No,
it was
nice
nothing
of
like
you.
that, but my salary it didn't make it to that, so I just, so I went from what my real salary was and put the 2.5 or 2% in for that, so yeah.
Talk about numbers
It's
fabrication.
different for the salaried people than it is for, like, I'm hourly, so.
We're probably gonna give these round numbers after we figure it out.
Yeah.
I just didn't want her to be cheated, that's all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate the choice.
Yeah. So then we get to, general government sewer. We did call the sewer authority. Our number is fine to stay the same how we have, it budgeted from last year, $700. General government water, we did increase because that's showing a 20.3% increase. That one actually looks right.
And is that the water that we use here? Or is that?
No, that is, yes, that is just our water. We have
Yeah,
across
here
the street
and-
water.
In the building across the street.
Mhm.
Not my house.
That's not, and
But
I,
then eventually,
that
the fire hydrant amounts will go in there too. Christy said, we talked about it first about like having a separate line item, but I don't think we should do that because, if the fire hydrant fund is going away, that's just, even though it's for the fire hydrants, it's still gonna be your water bill like it is now.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
it should just go in the water line item then,
Agreed.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so
You
the
guys are
thing of it
all
is right now, this doesn't reflect that change because we
Yeah,
haven't
we just put a
determined that we're
blurb
gonna
there,
do it.
yeah,
We've
to
talked about it.
remember to
also,
add that in then for
Well-
next year.
well, and so what's in the fire hydrant fund right now should cover us for next year. The only question I would have for you is, did you account for that increase is all for the fire hydrant water bills? To make sure that we shouldn't increase this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but yes, next year when we do our budget, that's gonna be a much bigger number. I'm talking like $100,000 bigger, okay?
Okay, yeah, but.
So that's what our water bill, we're at like 92,000 right now.
It was like 90 something, yeah. So, I mean, the bottom line is though, is there'll be revenue moving along with it to cover that.
Yes,
So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's
What we
just,
have in the fire hydrant fund right now is, we should be able to pay all those bills next year, no problem, with what's left in that fund for now.
okay.
And then, yeah, once we get it, we should be whittled down to close to nothing until the end of next year then.
and I know we're not on the tax increase yet, but I just wanna note that, if you did do a tax increase and all of my calculations, I show a column of what we would get from the increase, but then I show a column after the fire hydrant, bills are paid. But we would, like I already stated, we would be fine for the first year. We'd be able to see the full amount of money. But then going forward, if you don't continue we'd have to reassess the tax every single year, so I don't know if we'd actually have to raise it, but I do, know that we would be not using it on fire hydrant bills for 2026, okay?
Before we move on from that section, contrary to popular belief, everyone out there, our residents are having the same increase, the increase in electricity, sewer, gas, water. And contrary to popular belief, a municipality is subject to the same increases. So
Actually, we get more.
we're not immune. Matter of fact, we do have a higher increase than residential. So those people out there saying that we don't have those costs increase yearly, we do. I just wanted to make that point.
Very good. The next item is maintenance and repairs. We kept that the same. That's one of those line items that you never know what's going to happen. We had already lowered that line item, I believe.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, because
Where are we at here?
the equipment's getting older, it's not getting newer unless we replace it. The
This
only
is
thing,
for our building though.
Yeah.
This is our building.
well, the building's getting older, so there.
I can tell you that there are some pieces to our building that are from the existing building.
Yeah.
So,
And you already spent almost 30 grand in the first, so you probably got another $3,000 or $4,000 worth of stuff you might need to address in the last quarter. Is that reasonable?
yeah, well, and next year, you never know what's gonna happen to the unit that's above Shane's office area because we have to get that serviced. We just had to get it serviced because it stopped working, for instance. you
Totally.
know?
So
Yep.
I don't feel making a change. If it did anything, it'd be like, you could take $5,000 out of it at most, but even that sounds like a bit risky. Because, gotta believe that unit that's up there is,
Well, I'm
Pretty
sure there's
expensive.
other things that I'm just not even thinking of as well. We were lucky and fortunate enough to be still under our 1-year warranty contract, which thank God, I just want to say this because I'm pretty proud of this. He thought I was crazy because, I'm a woman, whatever. But I heard a noise, okay? I heard a noise and I was like, what is that? And it was when I was waiting for one of these meetings, I think. And, I went over to the hot water heater and I'm like, I know it's not supposed to be making that noise. My husband's an HVAC technician. I know some of this stuff, So I called my husband and I'm like, what's wrong with this? Listen to the noise. He's like, oh, something's wrong with that. Called Shane. No, I think I called Shane first and he's like, oh, Christy, it's probably fine, and that they're supposed to make some noise. And so I had to turn the thing off. And what do you know? The next day was our last day for our 1-year warranty. Or it was either that day, but they honored it. So we were fine. We just made it.
I see the bus wheel marks on your back here.
I just thought that was a fun story.
get the number of that bus that hit you, Shane?
She thought the building was gonna blow up. I'm like, the building ain't gonna blow up.
Look, it sounded bad. Okay, it was enough for me to be like, wow, what is that?
All right.
So this next item, okay, so we put 50 in there for discussion, okay? So
New
it's the,
laptops, what are you guys buying, like Craig computers?
I was waiting for it.
it was two. I told her, I was kind of bet with her, you would say something. But so anyways, general government capital purchases. We had, let me get to it here in my paper copy. We used to spend a lot of money out of that line item
Right.
at one point in time. And I'm talking close to $90,000, okay? And we significantly decreased that because we try to shove everything into a line item that we possibly can. But the thing is there are certain things that don't go into the capital expense up at the top,
Right.
but would fit into capital purchases. And one example would be new laptops. Now, obviously, you can decrease this number. I did it for discussion, that's all.
So, no,
Okay.
all joking aside, I
Yeah.
mean, so is that everybody on staff needs new laptop? I mean, how many are we talking?
No, we're on a rotation. We're not anywhere near $50,000.
Just how many? That's all.
I do have this.
5, this ballpark,
We're gonna say it's about 5.
5, okay.
Yeah.
And we spend less than $2,000 a pop on a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 10.
Yep.
So what's the other 40 for?
Discussion. Just wasn't sure.
Well, now we're discussing it, so it's like I get laptops, I'd probably throw an extra, maybe 5 in there for, I don't know, a monitor here, a keyboard there.
So you're talking 25,000.
Well, $2,000 a laptop, 5 laptops, 10. I could see going to 15. I could maybe get the 20 for some, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But to get this is where it gets into that discussion, like, it sounds like laptops are needed, they're on a rotation.
Yep.
That's clear and
Yep.
defendable.
Yep.
You probably need a little extra for some other things that are unforeseen, because a monitor may go or something,
Office equipment.
whatever, right, yeah, a printer. So I'd say, okay, 15, so the question becomes then, do you put 15 in there and then we consider the difference, it goes over into that capital fund that we want to set up?
Yeah, that would be a
So-
transfer of unencumbered.
I understand, but the point is it's like, here's what we can identify now at this point in time. If we start that capital fund, we can, and just say we seed it with, I'm making a number, $50,000, okay? And we move that from the cash reserves into it. We could also appropriate that we're gonna spend 50, doesn't mean we will, but it's sitting there so that when we're like, hey, you know what, Mr. Wizard, your 15K number was wrong. We need another $5,000 for X.
The next year.
For X, or, yeah, in that we'll have to pull it from that capital fund. It gives us the flexibility that we're talking about, so that in this general fund, we're putting in things that I would say are more certain than speculative.
Yep.
If that helps.
No, that helps. Is everyone okay with 15,000? You guys okay with 15 too?
I was thinking 25, hey, cut in half.
You don't have.
What I want to see is cut everything down to bare bones, and then we have.
That is
Issues
one of
somewhere we
the
have
account
to-
line items that if there would need to be like a transfer at the end of the year from one line item that went over, the expense line item and that one were always the ones that I usually, had extra in for that purpose too.
For the transfers?
So why don't we split the middle and say 20,
So.
put 30, that gives us 30 for seed money.
And I just looked up.
I mean,
to see
ultimately,
what
I'd like
was
to seed the
in
capital fund with
24
50K.
spent for
That's where I'm sitting
out of
right
that,
now.
and just the lines
It doesn't mean
for
we're
that,
spending it,
and,
but yeah, I'm happy to,
defense for
20.
over there.
yeah, I'm happy to
That
put
was-
20 in that line.
was
You okay,
fixed
Karen?
or whatever.
Yeah.
So-
What's the number?
20.
20?
But I do want to be mindful of what Jen's talking about, because I know the end of last year, because of how we went through the budget, and we're pretty hawkish about cutting line items.
We were definitely doing that last year.
So
Which
I know
is
there was,
good.
no, but
We
I
did it
want
for
to
baseline.
recognize the
Yeah.
administrative effort that at the end of last year,
Right.
it was I'm being facetious, a 10,000-page document of all the movements that had to be done.
Yeah,
Jim,
So I want to balance that administrative issue, and so my thinking
Very good.
is that, again, to the degree that we can identify things that with more specificity in this general budget, for things like this capital purchase line, Jen, where you said, hey, that's where I kind of had this extra money that I could move around with a little more ease. If we set up this capital expense fund, yes, I realize it's in another fund, but we could potentially move funds from there to cover any shortfalls. We just have to be mindful that we'll still probably have that administrative moving around of more accounts than historically has been done now. But I think it's the right thing to do. Eventually we'll, let's face it, last year, we're, like I said, very hawkish on every line item. And some things we clearly got a bit wrong.
Yeah, it was a good baseline.
I think we'll
To figure
see if we're
out.
getting better. But I mean,
what's
just evidence
realistic.
from the high level of where we're at year to date, we're not too far off some individual things. Out of all this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, the 16 line items that you had highlighted in yellow when we started out in our workshop, those were the line items you said, I'm gonna go past my budget number in 25. And those would be the line items, 16 line items, you'd have to find money.
Yeah.
And the issue is, am I finding that money in one account, or am I searching through 30 accounts?
I mean, normally, like, I do try to, like, if it's in one, like, just for instance, if it's the highway budget, like, section, and say it's signs that goes over, I'll take, and if there's money in the traffic signals there in that same section, I'll use that because it makes it cleaner that way. But those ones are kind of like, broad,
Yeah.
because it's capital and capital, so
Yeah.
they can be used for any
I understand.
account section.
I'm just,
That makes
I
sense.
want to be sensitive to the challenge that we had last year administratively. I just want to also say that I'm not sure I'm hoping we'll shorten that list, but I think it's still going to be.
I couldn't wait for it for this year. Last year, I had a headache till I was done doing that.
Well, it was.
I mean,
all new.
but it was new, you know, everything, you know.
Jen, are you okay with us putting 20,000 in that line?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean, whatever you guys want to do, I'll figure it out.
Well,
When
I
it
wanted,
comes down to it, I'll figure it out. But like I said, it was just, that's usually where I took them from, if it was something that really didn't fit anywhere, or if there wasn't anywhere in that section that I could take it from.
Well, and also that was on the advice of an auditor in the
Yeah.
past to try to keep them in the same sections.
Yeah, that's what the state does with theirs too, so they try to do the
Those
same.
darn auditors.
I know.
Jeez.
But I mainly say that for the record, so that anyone who watches, or even in the minutes and stuff, that everyone realizes this isn't just coming up from us, you know?
No, it's the auditors and what lends us to get clean opinions on our financial records.
Yep,
Oh, and I'm looking forward to that liquid fuels.
yep,
That's actually
So
one of the easier
where are
ones.
we into now? We're in the police?
police, fire, ambulance, dog officer, SPCA, we kept it 10. We did factor in if the SPCA would increase, which they already told us they're gonna incrementally increase, every year, but we're gonna get the 3 to 5 year plan, next year that we're all going to be working on. So, we did 10, and that's with
That's
our Michelle Klug lady.
That's fine.
Yeah, that includes her stuff too, yes.
And the police budget, that's a final number from them?
That is a final number.
that is the final number. It went up 1.7%.
Is there,
1788 reflects the 1.7% plus we bought one PPU, which is 10 hours.
Which is 40
apiece.
hours.
40 hours. And so the difference, if you take out that additional PPU we bought this year, we'd only be
only
increasing
$68,000.
12,000.
Real quick, what was that percentage though?
1.6?
1.7.
Oh, 1.7. I thought it was 1.6. But I mean, it's only jumping up $68,000 from our 25 budget.
Yeah, and that's another 40 hours of police service, because
Chris, you put 2020.
I've had a lot of residents contact me and saying they're not seeing police around and stuff, which
So then we.
I do, but
Well,
maybe I'll.
We're
That's-
5 officers short.
oh, I
Yeah,
understand.
we're 5 hours officers short, and it's tough finding officers, or
And,
potential officers.
and we're not at risk of that number changing at all?
For 26? No.
The wrong spot.
I thought I went in.
Everything else is the same in this category.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see any room to cut anything else in that category for
Yeah.
police, fire, and ambulance.
Right.
You know, fire protection, we talked about. This is this catch-22, right,
the
for
words,
fire
yeah.
protection. I
Well,
wish
you know,
we
there was a
could,
couple
but
areas
I know we don't have it in,
That I'm adding.
we don't have room in the budget for it.
Another note on that, police, that was reflective of us merging with Spring Garden.
Right.
So we're hoping, Darryl and I are hoping we experience that same relief next year, for the following year budget. But
Yep.
Who knows?
Understood.
I do want to note, hold on real quick, I had it somewhere here. I want to just note briefly that for fire protection, because I heard somebody say it last night at the meeting, that they were like, you know, if you're cutting fire protection, that's going to be an issue. And I just want to say, we're not cutting fire protection. And I figured out what the problem is, and I didn't get a chance to change it yet, because I only figured it out today, was that on my tax increase flyer, I have a lengthy version of a flyer, and then I made a shortened version, and I took the years out from this one section, which was important, for significant cost reductions that we made. Those were all based off of years from 2023 to 2026. These decreases didn't happen in 1 year's time. So I failed to put that in here, and I just wanted to verbally say it for the record to clear that up. That was my mistake. But because in one section it says fire protection, it used to be 500,000, and we had once upon a time decreased it to 350,000. And to be honest, I don't remember why that was, but that was many years ago when that happened.
We combined a whole bunch of categories late in 1
Oh,
year.
and yeah, we did.
I was on that committee.
So that was pre this. I think you two were here. I think Steve was still here when that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to verbally say that, okay? But this year, it's not decreasing, okay?
No,
For the record.
and like I said, it'd be, and I appreciate the backstory, it'd be nice if we had the extra room to increase it, given the work that they do, but unfortunately, we don't. So we're not cutting it, we're maintaining what we have.
Oh, so we're honest and transparent. Fire protection, we don't have a fire company in our township.
Correct.
So we have 2 volunteer companies that we make a donation to, because we recognize the significance of their service to our community. So, you know, it's not a so-called payment, it's a contribution. Just so we're perfectly clear, and everybody out there is perfectly clear.
Yes.
And we don't anticipate doing anything with that contribution. This contribution usually stays stable. Okay.
Agreed.
Okay, so are we okay with everything in this category, or do you want to increase anything?
I can also say about the foreign fire insurance there, it offsets with a revenue. That's a revenue we get from the state. And that is made up of, it comes from, I don't know the formula that the state uses to figure that out, but I know it's for, I think it has to do with populations. I think that's part of it. But also it is, oh geez. It's from the insurance. The insurance companies pay that to the state. And I forget exactly why, but that's where that money comes from, and then it comes from the state. And then that's where you guys, that also goes to the fire companies, is what I'm getting at. So that also goes to them too.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
that number gets distributed to all
yes,
of it.
and that money has to be distributed by law, by us, in a certain period of time to them. So yes, I just wanted to put that out there, that was money that goes to them as well.
So, everything else appears to be about the same. Is everyone okay with this section?
Yes.
Planning and zoning. So, sewage enforcement, we did increase. Once again, that is unpredictable. This is the most that it fluctuated in a couple of years. It's actually notoriously been anywhere from about 5,000 and maybe to 3,500-ish, 35 to 5.
No, I think that makes sense, given the history. I mean, plus this year was pretty rainy. Weren't we ahead of our rain for some of the year? I get it wrong all the time, but I thought it was pretty wet this year.
It would, yes, actually, the water tables are not going down, or they haven't.
Yeah, which is good, but that also stimulates that, and so I see no reason to change. I think putting 9 there is fine.
Zoning officer, once again, this is one of those things that that Jen will have to account for
It's a
the
salary
cost of
thing.
living. Do you want me to erase this, Jen?
Yeah, you can. I just thought about that, yeah.
It's gonna change it again. Oh, I did not. The next item is, okay, so here's the assistant zoning officer. Year to date for assistant zoning?
That's what
Oh, 'cause
Lauren, that's
Lauren.
Lauren, yep.
That's right.
So yeah, that's why that's year to date.
Yes.
But then the numbers are actually for a full year. The budget number was for a full year, but she wasn't here a full year.
And I just want to, once again, give the history again, that we had a number in there for a couple of years already in that line item, and then we took from the part-time employee line item and added it to this line item, which is how we reached this.
To make it a full-time number.
And then I added the 2% to it, because I was,
Just keep it there.
okay,
I wouldn't change it unless someone feels differently.
okay.
Supplies aren't,
No,
it's a small number.
yep,
Professional services, no real change in that. I mean, well, I guess one question with the noise ordinance, that was probably a big piece of that cost, maybe half of it, say 3K.
yes.
Do we foresee needing that level in 26?
You know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, because that was us hiring the consultant to
Mhm.
guide us through the ordinance piece. If some developer comes in, the cost of producing a noise model and things on them, but we would then most likely turn to this consultant or some other consultant to evaluate that model, I would assume.
Well, and
Yes.
also we have in capital to account for sound studies, so if you guys opted to authorize doing a sound study, then it would come out of there anyways.
Which capital?
Right.
Which capital line?
Oh, the
The
Expensive.
one that we
the
cut down to
expenses.
20?
No, the one that's at 100 right now. But once
Okay.
again, that's one of those things you guys talked about in financial review, that these were thinking that would be a part of the capital expense fund or reserve fund.
Yeah.
So, but for now, as a placeholder, I
Okay.
placed it there.
And see, those are the important pieces that I
Yeah.
think are by having that capital expense fund or whatever we called it. Yeah, I can't remember the exact name, but I know it's capital something. Capital reserve, thank you. You know, what I think the group of us liked was the fact it gave flexibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you want to lower this to, I don't know, maybe 4,000? It looks like some of Julie's I think Julie's Board of Supervisor time comes out of here. When we had Julie listed up higher. Oh no, this one's not supervisor. This is when we have her for planning commission is what it is.
Yeah.
The other one where you saw Julie was for the Board of Supervisors. So just so you know, that's still, and
Yeah,
remember, we could
her
be
bill
having
gets
more,
split too as well, depending on what she's at.
right, it could be more planning commission meetings though because of the data center or whatever, to take minutes. Or when you review ordinances and things, and it needs to go to,
I say if we reduce that, if anything, it goes down to 5,000.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
oh, I did do it. There we go. Okay, so the stenographer,
Well, we didn't have one, so we didn't use much, so I'd almost put that at $500.
well, so actually, oh, I see what you mean. I understand what you're saying.
I mean, you got 125, so unless you're doing something,
Well, I do think it should stay at 1,000, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Sure.
So every once in a while, when you get a more high-profile case, her price of being here is different from actually getting the,
so like the data center.
yeah, something like that.
Well, then we have
So
that,
we
so
have
then
to-
yes, let's put 1,000 in.
They're not cheap,
No,
they're
no.
expensive.
And that's
Yeah.
fine because we just said we got 180 days. for
Yep.
the- So we'll probably use some of it, so yeah, let's put 1,000.
Okay. All right, so the next one is planning, zoning, engineering, and planning. We kept that the same, we were getting up there. Legal services for planning and zoning, we did increase. And what we put here was there could be more zoning hearing board, planning commission meetings possible for the next year where we
Or
might
20.
need legal services.
I guess with planning and engineering, my sense would be to cut both those lines by 5,000, take the one down to 50 and the other one to 25. That's how I view it now. I don't know how the other supervisors feel.
Which line item now? I thought we were past that.
Both of these.
Planning, engineering
So
planning and
move
then
that to
legal.
50 and that 25.
Yeah. My rationale is we're only at 44 and there's, 3 months left in the year and there's a zoning hearing board and a planning commission and we might have one more for each before the year ends, potentially.
Well, we have to look what's on the horizon. I don't see anything being built 26.
Okay,
Well, this isn't necessarily about being built.
This is
right, it's
planning.
about
This is
planning
about the
and,
planning of it, and there could
So
be a
zoning
lot.
and
there could be
planning
a-
commission.
There could be a lot there. I think we should keep that at the recommended. If we
Okay.
don't use it, we don't use it. We got it.
That's a fair point then. You
Okay,
wanna
so
keep
for
it
both of
legal?
those, you want them to stay where they're at then?
I'd be more comfortable with that so that we have some wiggle room.
Because your feeling is that 26 may not be a building year, but it's gonna be a heavy plan.
Planning year.
It's gonna be a heavy planning year.
Okay, that makes sense, given what the potential may be. Okay,
Advertising, likewise, we increased it because of what we just talked about.
okay,
And then printing, we kept the same.
okay.
We then get to emergency management. That was, we do this in the middle of the year now, so he didn't ask to raise it. All three municipalities agreed to keep it at 6,000, knowing that our cost is actually $2,000 and they reimburse us at the following year after Jen bills them. So technically, we spend $2,000.
That's fine.
Recycling, this is for street sweepings. We increased it because we went over significantly by almost $17,000 is what we are year to date on, and we budgeted at 12 for this year, so 20, we're good with that.
Yeah, I think it makes sense based on what we talked about.
Weed control, I think it's so funny it has that name. So it's the received lien payoffs.
If you want it to be something different, it bothers you that much, Christie, I can change that.
I know it's been like that forever.
Yeah,
It's just
Dave and I
silly
put that,
to me.
yeah, in there
So
at one point when we started having to lean.
we
No.
did receive funds for this. So that's a mystery. You never know when someone's gonna finally pay off their lien.
Yeah, that's another one where it goes in and out, so it just stays in that same line item. So when we lien a property and mow it or whatever, all the fees come out of that, they get paid out of that line item, and then maybe years down the road, if that lien gets paid off, then it comes back in and I put it right back into that account. Just so if the auditors or if we need to look up something at some point, all that stuff is in that one account line item then. We can find all the information for that in that one line.
I'm fine, we can leave that.
Just kind of makes it easier for research purposes.
The
What?
click, drag now, go down the format cells.
Am I driving you nuts, Steve?
No,
Would you like her to?
All right. Okay, so now we're in highway. Oh, it's the fun part, huh? So the salaries for highway, public works director, and road foreman, I just, highlighted and did the comments for the inflation of 2.5%. And then we get to, there's several things that are remaining the same, like supplies, gasoline. We did increase diesel because we're very close to that 20 grand that we budgeted for this year, and it could definitely go over depending on the snow and stuff we get until the end of the year.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm good with all those numbers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, well, let's see, we got 410 and 26 budget for highway capital expenses.
Oh, you kind of went down.
So, now, we did the sweeper last year, and
Oh, here we go.
now we're talking a potential bucket truck. I mean,
Why are we increasing capital purchases? Yeah,
Yeah, that's the highway capital.
I've been looking at it, I can't find the line stuff anymore.
so what's the cost of a bucket truck? Is it like 400? Close to
I'll
400?
give you 200,000.
And so then what's the other?
That's a bottom number.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So say between 2 and
I'm
250?
sorry. What's that?
Between 2 and 250 for a bucket truck?
You have to uplift them,
What's that, Darryl?
you got, that 250, cover uplifting and equipment you need on it.
Yeah, you're looking, now, these quotes were a year and a half ago. The chassis, you're looking around 80, and a close estimate's 125,000 for the upfit, which is not just the bucket portion, it's also the toolboxes and everything else that goes with that.
It's fully outfitted, configured the way you'll need it. So the low end is 200, the high end would be 250, both.
Somewhere, give or take, yes.
So
Yeah.
you got 410 in the line item. That basically says anywhere from 200 to 150 to 200 for
Right.
other.
Yeah, I don't mind. Well, let me ask you this first.
Mhm.
Am I allowed the bucket truck for 26?
I'll just say it up front, right now, given that we're looking at a 7-figure hole in the ground, I think it's pretty tough lift to get there.
Then will the money go for 27? Can the
Think-
money be fronted for 27?
I'd say it depends on how 26 turns out budget-wise and what revenue comes in. If we get, some of those bluebirds of a big warehouse sales and we get some windfall, Shane, then yeah, if we're able to pay down some of our debt, maybe extra, or have the potential for it and build this, capital reserve fund. Yeah, I mean, and I get the juxtaposition there because I know the bucket truck is 20 years old.
Yeah, 20,
And,
21.
and it's used.
It was already used when we purchased it, yeah.
No, but I mean, you,
Oh, we used it
Use
too,
it.
but yes, it's the one item we did purchase used. We don't do that much around here,
Right.
but we did it to see if we would benefit from having a service vehicle and a bucket truck. And now we can't live without one. You know what I mean? It was a great.
right, because of the
benefit.
trees. I mean, that's just my take. I don't know how the other supervisors feel.
I agree this year is 26 is gonna be tight. However, mid to the end of year 26, I think we should order it at 26 prices and pay for it in 27. So I think we should make plans to
Absolutely.
save money for a bucket truck.
And that's where the capital reserve fund comes into play.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know, I mean, everything takes so long nowadays, ordering. First off, the ordering, but second, building a bucket truck's a little different too. There's
What,
so much to it, but
what area are you gonna get? Altech?
that's what we have now.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what body? Ready?
F-550.
Okay,
Ford,
all right,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
Is this in line with your equipment
Yes, it's
purchasing?
close enough, Darryl.
replacement?
Now, I did that equipment schedule for you guys 2 years ago, maybe. And this is in one of my top 5 items.
What's your second item and how bad is that one? Just curious,
Well,
because
it's
that
kind
could
of
affect us later. in the
It's kind of a weird
price.
thing there. We have a 2005 F-350 pickup truck. Our pickup trucks, don't get me wrong, we usually run them until we can't run them anymore. But that's one of those kind of weird things that costs $60,000, $70,000. The engine blows in that truck. I'm not replacing the engine in a 2005. Not a need, but the next one coming up within that 5-year plan is our John Deere loader, which is,
$500,000?
hold on, I have an exact number for that.
Thinking 6, 7.
No, it's not as bad as you think. We have co-stars.
$499?
List price is 400. We get it for 290.
Okay.
So it's not as bad as.
So 300K.
Yeah.
So I was off by almost
So-
factor two.
And so how was that one again?
That's in '07.
And,
It's 18 years old.
when were you projecting to replace that one?
Sometime in the next 5 years. And
Yeah.
he's in
Next
year.
And
he's in
we're
year-
already 2 years into this. I want
Yeah.
to remind you of all that, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're already 2 years into that, and we're still good. But if you can, I'd like to see, if you want to put that money aside for me, I'd like to see it so I can build it, schedule it, order it, and come January of '27, I can purchase it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That was my intent.
No, and I'm sorry.
So,
This is a-
so next year's budget, I would need that money there right away and plan for it.
No, and I appreciate the candor of it. I think it's where, given what we have right now, if we take that out, so I'm just using round numbers, $1 million comes down to now about a $600,000 deficit.
Yep.
And then can we build a capital reserve fund where we take like 50K out of our cash reserves and start it with 50K as seed money as an example. And then if we get a big warehouse sale, once we get north of some of our budget revenues, push that money over to the capital reserve fund so that we build that capital reserve for the reasons and the equipment you're asking for over time, so that when we get there, we have the comfort, confidence, like getting through June, July of 26, Dave, to be able to say, hey, based on where we're at, we're pretty good. We feel comfortable, place the order, because we know it's going to take 12 months for the piece of equipment to show up.
But if you were talking about a Bluebird, we do get a Bluebird, not all of that money got to go to capital, we got to pay off our loan too.
Yeah, I know. It's that catch-22. We still have that principle.
So we have to balance that.
Well, then-
Balance that out.
Then my question is, where's that 410 going right now?
Right now, it's disappearing.
How much of it?
Well, take the equipment out. What do you need for,
No, that right there is all equipment.
Okay.
So that is also there for emergency fund to a point, to a degree.
And that's where I was getting to. So if you take the equipment out, do we leave 50K in there for other incidentals that may come up? I don't know, you break a blade on a snowplow or something and you got to replace the snowplow.
No, that's,
I'm making stuff up because I just don't know, Shane, where things like that come from when, the whole machine doesn't break, but
no, we still have, that's completely different.
Yeah, that would be,
maintenance and repairs.
That would be all new equipment right there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
yeah, something
So-
like that, Dean, that you're talking about would come out of 437,000, that's repairs, that would come out of that line.
Okay.
So what else would come out of highway capital purchases besides
What Shane
equipment?
said,
New.
any, like, new
It'd be all new
equipment.
equipment.
Oh, so what was the cushion for them?
So then for me, I hate to be this harsh, Shane, but to me, it's zero.
Well, then,
Like I said, I hate to be that way, and I know that's not right, but if it's all for big equipment, talking, $100,000 type equipment. Now, if you tell me,
No,
well,
no.
I need at least 20, 30, 50 grand in there for, I got to go buy a snow blower or something like that. I don't know.
Howard,
we don't start with some type of capital reserve soon, you're always gonna be in the hole, because he's got this 5-year plan where he's going to have to replace it.
Yep.
And that's why we want that capital reserve set up so that we can build those funds and specifically earmark for this equipment, so it's not commingled with our emergency fund that we're sitting on right now in the event of something.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, if we don't allot at least part of that money, 100,000 is what I was had in mind. You don't allot some of that for the bucket truck, you say is gonna run 250,000. So you don't buy that, you put it off till 28, and then he needs money for the loader in 29, which is 300,000, then
Yeah,
Oh, I
Go
understand what you're
further,
saying. Okay.
so.
Yeah.
But allowing that, are you assuring that you put $100,000 in there and, I don't know, whatever, so it doesn't get spent? Whatever money you put in there, allotted, you earmark that, this is for the bucket truck.
Mhm.
And don't be taking money out of there then to fill in something else because you're running short on something else, you know what I mean?
and that's why we want the capital reserve fund, because we can earmark it for stuff. It gives us flexibility in the
As long as
event.
you don't use it. Shane, you need to keep track of that.
And I don't,
What, my only question is, this capital reserve fund won't get me to a bucket truck for 27. If you're putting $50,000 in a year.
so, and that's a fair point. I don't know how else to close the gap in the budget right now. But I also understand that if we don't replace equipment and you need it, now you can't perform the service that you've come to perform for the community.
Right.
Which will be a worst case scenario type of deal. And so what I'm trying to balance out, where I want to really, at least in my mind, where I want to get to is, what is the deficit without big equipment purchases? Because right now, just simple math, I'm like, if we take 400,000 out, $1 million deficit goes down to 600,000.
Correct.
Are we going to close that 600,000 through the remaining line items of this budget? Highly unlikely. And then where it comes to, for me, is the math exercise of, well, there's only two ways to, we've already went through the budget and we said, this is the bare minimum that we can cut the budget to provide the services that the community requires, aside from equipment purchases, which is an important piece of doing the work that your crew does. Then it's like, okay, the only thing I have left is to consider a tax increase.
But you can't, okay, so you want to take it to zero, but you can't take 200,000 of what's there now and start that fund on?
Maybe we
Yeah,
can.
possibly, that's what the plan is. So why don't we try this just on for size? We take that to zero, the 410, and I have it here. And I'm not gonna forget that's 410.
I'm not gonna forget it either. I want to be clear about that.
So then when we get down to the end to see the delta, we gotta put money into a capital fund and it's earmarked for Shane's equipment.
Yeah, trust me, Shane, I don't want to forget this because I understand that if we don't replace equipment, we're gonna be exactly where Harold said we're gonna be, which is a problem. And the day you need that bucket truck because of big storm, it'll be, well, you can thank Supervisor
Yeah,
Core
no.
for being so frugal.
I don't want to sit here because the public sees this as all their equipment's junk, they don't know what they're doing. Our equipment is maintained,
Yes, it is.
but there's a fine line to where you start putting money into things.
That
And
make
is
no
it
sense.
reliable and those kinds of things. But when you ask for something like this, in the public eye, it's, what's wrong with their bucket truck? Why, it's 20-some years old.
Exactly.
And depending on the vehicle, you can get 30 out of them, or big trucks and things. Something like this that was already used and abused and we got it, it's costing us money.
No, and I think that's the thing that we've always said, you and your team have maintained the equipment beyond its typical useful life. In most situations,
Yeah.
it would have been long gone.
This is your $50,000 laptop.
I have a-
Yeah, your equipment is important to
Yeah.
you as laptops are.
Yeah.
From.
I don't understand, maybe someone can explain it to me, what's the difference if it sits in highway capital purchase versus a capital fund?
See,
It's still 410
It's
here.
left pocket, right pocket. The difference is that in this general fund, to me, these are the expenditures required to provide the services to the community. I get that equipment's a piece of that, but we're not buying a bucket truck every year as one example. The intent is to be able, ideally, to replace big pieces of equipment every year.
Right.
You know, and so as we look in our past, yes, we built this building. We all know we spent between $5 and $6 million on it. It was well overdue. There are varying opinions of that. So we consume a lot of our cash reserves for doing that. All I'm saying is that right now where we're sitting is by taking that out, I want to see where the deficit is without
Without that $400,000.
without big capital purchases. We get down through, and then I hate to oversimplify, but it is a math exercise. So how do you close that deficit? The only thing left after we do this is really strongly considering a tax increase. And then we can take and say, all right, we've got some of, you know, we've got the reserve money sitting on the balance sheet that we've been given guidance from various folks to have that 40% of our operating expenses, okay? That we should carry in cash in case a big storm hits. Because like we said, we won't get reimbursed from the state or Fed or anything like that for months or maybe a year or so later. And we need that cash in order for you and your team and whomever else we need to bring in here to go fix something. And your equipment's a big piece of that.
Okay,
Can you make me feel better with at least $100,000? I mean, that's a pickup truck. One of my pickup trucks gets totaled tomorrow. You know, that 2007 pickup truck might be worth what? 15 grand if you're lucky.
Mhm.
How do I replace that? Because insurance is only going to pay you 15 grand.
No,
And I understand. Don't get me wrong. I could wreck something that costs $400,000. You know, and you got to go in the hole at some point.
right.
But
I'm,
leaving it at zero,
you're uncomfortable, and I understand your level of uncomfortable.
Dean, how about if I change my number here to 300,000? Or 30,000, sorry. 30,000 and leave 110 in that.
I don't have a problem. I just asking the questions. My thing was I wanted to get through the budget with understanding
300,000.
big pieces of equipment out. So
That's what they told me to do.
So are you okay with that, to see what it comes out in the wash? Because we can revisit this.
you just want 100,000, not 100.
I was just gonna say.
Oh, I heard him say 110 or
You
something
thought,
like that.
yeah.
Oh, 110.
110, so we're
I'm
gonna
always
round
looking
up.
at him like, who had a moment now?
300, that's kind of flush.
I was just gonna say something.
There it is, right?
So,
Okay.
so over in your comment, Tom, I don't know if you want to change it. I would just, replacement of truck or something like that. So,
So if he buys the bucket truck, that's out of the capital reserve then?
we'll get there. That's the game plan. It's, I hate to say it this way, but it's kind of left pocket, right pocket, okay? I just want to get through the budget without seeing large equipment
This
purchases.
is current expense, the reserve is future.
Ideally, yes. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Shane, based on where you're sitting right now, if all the discussions that we had, if we magically had the money and we said, go do a bucket truck, when would it actually show up?
Oh, you're looking 6 months to a year.
So we're well into probably summer of 26. It's not like the sweeper. The sweeper was what, like a year?
That was a year. That was exactly a year.
So the bucket truck's faster.
Probably, I would think a little faster and
Okay.
after we design it, but that's what I was saying. If I could have that reserve fund for 27, where I could order, say, October, November.
Your
Next year.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So your position is that come summer of 26, as we're
Yep.
going through our second quarter budget review,
Yep.
the magic words you'd like to hear is, hey, we're in a good position. We feel comfortable
Yep.
that we can go ahead and, put in 27's capital budget, a $250,000 bucket truck.
Yes. And I could start building it, planning it, and ordering it.
And I don't have a problem with that because I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know
Right.
right now with what we've got a significant deficit and just trying to figure out how we close that and how we make that up and then come back and consider the capital pieces. So
I understand.
I appreciate your
See what you got
flexibility.
to the end, but I'm just glad you didn't, the zero freaked me out a little bit. It's all right.
And I understand that, but you know,
So. We'll see what else my line is here.
Okay, so snow and ice, we increased this, and it's because that line item would have gone over, but we took it from the liquid fuels account, and we had already stated this in a previous financial review meeting, that we have to be careful of just taking even small amounts out of liquid fuels, because we try to always keep at least $1 million in there for bridge failure or some kind of big catastrophe that would
Okay.
come from liquid fuels.
so so basically what you're telling me is you took 25K out of liquid fuels to cover salt overruns, right?
Yes.
The next thing is signs. We went over, we have been dealing with signs a lot more, especially because of the truck ordeal and all of that,
It's
so.
fine.
Plus, PennDOT decided to give us over their signage as well. That's what, under 35, under 40 miles per hour? So we magically got that now. Another unfunded
Can't we just
state
sign all of our
mandate.
roads at 40 because that's what people are driving, right? I'm kidding.
Yeah. Maybe 60, but yeah.
And wait, so do you think this is enough? Because we're
Yeah.
already over. Just saying, and I don't know what that looks like for you, Shane.
I think we're good there, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, that little bit there.
Then the next thing is traffic signals.
Is this just the maintenance of them? This isn't like upgrading them to the,
No, that's just maintenance.
okay.
They went around and did a lot of maintenance.
And I think that's reasonable. You're at 16 now.
Shane, you are looking at doing some sort of program where we have to upgrade lights every year instead of doing 5 in 1 year or something from their older signal mechanisms in.
That's what we were talking about, and they were saying maybe starting a fund for that too. Yes. Yeah, but then there are some grants for that too, Darryl. And that, I literally just got that email tonight while I was here from Greg Creasy about, he was letting me know when it was coming up again. And that is to upgrade signals. So I don't know if it's,
Are you gonna let Christie put in for that grant? She's pretty good at that.
oh, she might as well. Yeah, she might as well.
Did do that one good, but now I have.
Delegate
Huh?
If Frank's
So-
willing to do it for free,
so-
that's awesome.
So I'm good with that. What about repairs, tools and equipment? 75K versus we're at 41 today.
Let me look at what that history is.
No.
Oh, it's because we have gone
No.
over 75, like almost like a every other year thing.
Well, I understand.
Yeah, that 41 we use right there, right now,
Yeah.
with 3 months left. If that impeller goes out in that leaf machine next week, over 10 grand,
I understand.
right there. We got screwed on that line, I remember years ago, and it all started with, what started it was the new modern equipment.
Okay.
All computer driven, we don't have the hardware, the computers to plug into these things. So check engine lights are on more often than you think, they're constantly going to the shop, so.
Let's move down to highway maintenance. 20, Willow Springs?
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I'm waiting on a grant that Byron put in for us. I won't know about it until December. If not, we got almost $300,000 for our liquid fuels this year, correct? 296 if I'm wrong. $296,000. I can see Willow Springs, my last estimate was like 350. A year later, you know, I could see hitting $400,000 to pave the rest of Willow Springs. Half of it we did in the past 2 years and 2 cycles. But I had no problem using the liquid fuels money. Me and Jen left that there just to discuss this a little bit. So it caught her attention.
Yeah, because of that grant, because you said it, that if we don't get that
I-
grant,
Then I have to
extra
use the
again.
liquid
So
fuels.
make sure I understand. So you feel that the Willow Springs work could be covered with liquid fuels and some grant money, correct?
We don't know about the grant yet. We weren't awarded the grant yet.
Okay,
But I can pay it out of liquid fuels.
100% of Willow Springs cost.
Correct.
So worst case scenario, and I know there's a goal to always try and keep $1 million in the
I'm
liquid fuels.
I'm 100 grand less. You know what I mean? We're fine on that.
And Willow Springs, out of this 500,000 that's in here, is 300K?
To pave it?
Yeah, I mean, what's Willow Springs? There's a 500,000 there. Is that all Willow Springs, a 500,000?
No. The Willow Springs is gonna be around, I'm hoping 400,000, but I have to bid that job.
Okay.
The estimates I got were 350, 380, somewhere around there.
So 400K, what's the other 100K in there for then?
That was just to get your attention.
Well, you got it.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. And that's what it was. It was a discussion point.
So
like Jen was going.
here's my recommendation where we're at. And thank you for stepping away from the ledge on the equipment. I'm
No,
going
we're
to
good.
ask you to back away from the ledge on this. I'd like to see us move Willow Springs, 400K or whatever, into the liquid fuels. I realize it,
Yep.
but that's what it's for.
Yep.
And then to me, I mean, unless I'm mistaken, you know, this gets back to the care that you and your team provide to the roadways throughout the community.
Yep.
'Cause I know you just did the microsurfacing down through our area where I'm at. I'm sure there's other areas. So my question to you then, do you need 100K in there to maintain other parts of the road? I know we haven't taken our drive around the community. That's
Well,
December.
Yeah, I haven't taken my drives yet, neither. That's the problem. But
Okay.
I do have some pipe work that needs done and a pretty big pipe job on Jerusalem School Road. The pipe work I'm getting quotes for now to see if I can have them lined instead of dug. But anyway, I'm still asking if you can leave me 2 to 250 and you can take the rest, Steve.
So what would you be comfortable with?
Out of your
400,000?
Who are you asking that of?
Give,
Shane,
I'd still like to see 3 there.
3 there.
I mean, if I did any which I don't plan on doing the microsurfacing, I think we're pretty good and caught up. That can wait another year. But the one road I would do is Jerusalem School, and you're still looking probably $150,000 if I'm microsurfacing.
So if we left 2 in there, would you be okay with 2? 200K?
I think he said 300.
I started
No,
with 3. I'll give you 250. Since we're bidding here.
Deal.
250 it is? Final answer?
250.
250, 250, 250.
Hit that hammer, Dave.
So thank you. Just through those changes alone, Shane, which cuts into your backyard very specifically, I mean, what was the other one? That was 300 plus another 250. That's 550,000. So our $1 million is down to a $500,000 deficit right now.
No,
Thank you.
because we went over that 62,000 already.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, depending on the jobs we're doing. But that 250, that line item to me is called highway maintenance, but I'll put it to you this way, it also keeps my crew working. It
Right.
doesn't pay the crew,
Right.
but without that money there, I have no work for them guys.
No, I understand that.
On the small jobs. You know
But
what I mean?
it comes back to what you counseled me on when I first joined the clubhouse, which was, you know, it's those small things that you do, keeping
Yep.
the crew out there,
Yep.
where you may spend a day in one area doing some minor patchwork, but that saves us $100,000, $200,000 job 2 years from now.
Yep.
And so I want to be mindful of that.
All right. So,
Anything else on the other line items?
So
Anything
looks
else?
like we've decreased highway maintenance supplies by 10 grand. Equipment rental, we kept the same. Highway construction supplies the same. MS4 engineering, I decreased this by 5 grand. And I increased the MS4 capital improvements by 5 grand.
Just-
So I did a swap.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you, just one question.
Sure.
Maintenance, machine and equipment rental. We're $6,000 year to date, 24, we did 8. We budgeted 40, we budgeted 40 again. Do we need that 40?
So that's gonna depend on, some of
Projects.
that, yeah, some of the projects. So like, equipment rental isn't, it is, say, going to Bobcat, we need an attachment or something.
Yeah.
But equipment rental is also the equipment I bid every year. So it'd be like Peters Paving, we bid their high lift, we
Okay.
bid their paver, we bid their crew.
Gotcha.
And Willow Springs is gonna need some work from them guys before
That's
I
the
get
answer
that job to
then.
be
So
paid, so.
Willow Springs is gonna chew that up. This year, we've just been fortunate that we didn't need what we had budgeted for.
Correct. They're a big part of it. Well, no, I would say this year, we would have, if we would have had to pay for Willow Springs cul-de-sac ourselves.
Yes,
Okay.
instead of having that.
Instead of it coming out of the
having that
NPR
extra.
our account, that's where a lot of the equipment rental went.
All right, thank you. I just wanted to hit that one. Yeah, otherwise, I'm good with the other line items if everyone else is.
I just want to say that Byron had me switch these two because when he had his, I guess his MS4 report review or audit, there's boxes to check off about what you've already done to start implementing, and we only have until 2028. And he was like, it really makes us look bad that we haven't started anything still. And he said, we probably should start off with a easier project. And he said his first one that would have a good impact would be the Kinsley Basin. And he was already talking to Kinsley about it. And they were like, yep, that's fine, you can upgrade it. Because per our ordinances, we can't require them to upgrade it. But it is one of those old ones for the old ordinance that needs it. And so that counts towards our MS4 credits.
And that's the one down at the underpass.
No, this one's over on Bartlett, I believe, isn't that one on
Yeah,
Bartlett?
where the old barn is.
Yeah.
And that falls into, for Byron to do this project, we're already talking, for him to save prevailing wage money. He's asking if we could do it. I could do that with my equipment rental through Peters
you
or
go.
whoever it is, so.
Yep.
Something
Okay.
like that is where that falls into play.
Excellent.
Um,
I think we're good then in that area.
I just want to add one thing really quick.
Yeah.
This isn't going into the budget because it's an escrow, but I just wanted to tell you that I did get Hanover Company's $500,000 escrow for Espresso Way because they're starting their construction over on Locust Point Road. So I just thought I'd let you know that,
Excellent.
per the agreement.
Yeah.
And I had notified them already that we had already started the permitting process. So we're ahead of the game because we have 1 year from the day that that escrow was submitted.
We're gonna use their contractor to do that work.
Correct. Yep.
Excellent. That's great.
Yep. Okay, so recreation,
No drama there, right?
yeah, we already hashed it out in the previous meeting, so we can keep going unless you have any comments.
No.
This was weird to me. Senior Center did not ask us for a donation this year. That usually comes in like,
Well, there's still 3
September.
months left in the year.
yeah,
Do we know any progress when they're moving?
no, I don't know anything. Haven't seen any emails from them at all. Nothing.
I thought maybe they had like
Is that
a
too,
new person or
is
something.
that too much aggressiveness there, $10,000?
Aggressiveness for what?
Is it too much?
Yeah.
So do we want to reduce that contribution? That's what I'm asking.
I think we can kick out of them. We get a request. Yeah.
Well, the question is,
Or
do you
you
want to
saying
leave,
do it now?
yeah, do
Yeah.
you want to leave 10 there or do you want to cut it in half? I mean, we're really dialing for dollars, given the deficit that we're facing, in all honesty, right?
What was that comment?
I said we're dialing for dollars.
We are, we're bobbing for apples, if you want to say that, but,
Another good one.
so,
I mean, in previous years, 23 and 24, we have donated $10K to the senior center. And let's face it, none of us are getting any younger, but
Our seniors do use it.
okay, let it go.
Yep. And they always like to give us their statistics as well to say how many of our residents are using it. And that number is always pretty high, so.
And it
let's
does
see.
go towards the residents. Majority goes there.
Yep.
So,
Debt service, this is merely our interest and our principal, and Jen already explained this a bit up at the above, in revenues, we have to put it in there.
Yep.
And then so that one is what it is. Miscellaneous expenditures, we also already hit this in the previous meeting, that was from liquid fuels reimbursement going over. We've notoriously always kept that at $1,000. Because it's unexpected, we don't know if we would ever owe.
Yep.
It's just one of those items you just don't know.
yeah, that's fine.
Then we get down to taxes and benefits.
Do we need benefits? No, I'm kidding. Kidding.
Some of these items we're keeping the same. Workman's comp, we went over, so we increased that by $1,000. Disability insurance, the same. Health insurance, the same. Also, we had to factor in, to include the code enforcement officer.
I think this all looks good in that section.
Okay, does anyone have any comments in this section?
I do have one thing I wanted to let you guys know. When Christy and I went to the Benetcon thing and they gave us our renewal, there's always a sheet in there that shows like our surplus at this point. At this point, we have $63,204 in surplus, but that doesn't mean that's exactly what we're gonna get back.
Yeah, because it'll keep
We still have
declining
some
over
time
the
yet
year.
in the year, but we did get, I did put up there, I think, how much we got. Yeah, $38,000, $7.79 is what we got for 24, but we got that, I think it was in April of this year. So we get it for the year from the year before, like for 25, whatever we get, we'll get in the beginning of next year.
And we use it to offset that line.
Yeah,
I mean, again, I think that's fine where those numbers are.
But that's nice. It's nice to get a surplus. I do want to say that our first year, they didn't know how to gauge us, and so we didn't get us. So that kind of,
You need
was
to
a
have your
bummer.
experience rate underneath you. So
Right.
once we get down to the bottom, what's the magic hole in the ground?
All right, so our total.
650K, 605, 606. $606,000 deficit.
That looks a lot better than what it used to look.
It was $1.3 million when we started.
What was it?
$1.3 million. I didn't change any of mine. It was $1.3 million.
Okay.
So basically, let's round it was actually $1.4 million. So we reduced budget by $800,000. A lot of that came from our highway department. Thank you, Shane. Now we need to figure out how we get it back. So
what I can do, I don't know if you're okay with this, but what staff is proposing is 2.0 millage rate increase. So this will be a good segue into the next agenda item. We did a lot of math with this, and we can just plug in those numbers and we can see what that looks like. And of course, we were looking at this before we did.
sorry, Christy, where's that table at that you had done? Didn't we hand that out
Sure,
somewhere?
yep, hold on real quick.
If you could bring that up, I think that would just be helpful.
Yep,
What the delta is, because literally the math exercise is you're looking to close a $600,000 gap.
now this was additional.
I understand, and that's the additional. So right now we have a $600,000 gap. So you look up at your chart, and to get to 600, you need to be somewhere between 1.8 and 1.9, right? Because you said,
Correct,
is that right?
yes.
Oh, sorry, 1.8. It could be 1.7 to 1.8. 1.8 closes the gap and leaves some spare change, so to speak.
That's hard to
Is
look
that
at.
after discount?
Now, this is all discount. This is at discount.
Which is a discount?
Oh, this is at discount, and then this is after fire hydrant bills. But
Yeah,
once
the
again, we
fire
won't have
hydrant.
to account for that.
Sorry, but
Yep.
I want to be clear, what I heard earlier is the fire hydrant stuff,
Right,
what we had in the fire hydrant fund will take care of costs in '26.
correct.
So
Yep. So this is the number.
so we can look in that
Go
red
to the left a
column.
little. Yeah,
I'm
thank you.
sorry.
Yeah, okay.
So a increase from our current tax rate to 1.8 would cover the deficit. That's the math exercise. Now, someone could argue you could probably go 1.75 and it might be more precise. But, you know, our crystal ball isn't that clear for 26, and it'd be nice to have a little extra cushion.
Well, we were trying to build up all of these items.
Well, and so this is where the next exercise comes in. So if we were to take it up to the 2 mil mark, you do the math between those two, you're just under a $200,000 increase. Well, right there is the start of funding a bucket truck
And paying off the loan early.
and putting some of that towards the loan. Probably do like a 50-50 split, you know? My recommendation would be like if we got one of those bluebirds coming in, we 50-50 split. 50% goes towards paying down the principal, 50% builds a capital reserve fund. And if we jump to 2 mil, I mean, like I say, that gives an extra 200,000, almost an extra $200,000. Actually, it would be because we need, call it 600,000. That's 836. So let's just simplify it. 200,000. If we did that, all things being equal in the budget, we'd wind up with a surplus of $200,000.
Mhm.
We could put 100 towards paying down principal and 100 towards building a capital reserve fund, which would put us in a position, a better position, you know, summer of 2026 to be able to, you know, hopefully give Shane a green light to, hey, let's move forward on the bucket truck, assuming some other things happen. If you want to just simply cover the deficit of 600,000, then to me it's somewhere between 1.7 and 1.8 mils.
The other thing also that we could start to save for, or however you would want to do it, because I know this was a big discussion before, is for fire emergency services to be able to donate a little more. And with our DCED study, we don't know what that holds, but I would imagine you'd also want to build something up for that as well.
I would, but my concern is, I'm not sure how to say it, is I don't want to over ask. I'd much rather be in a situation where every year as we go through the budget, as our costs increase, then other things should increase along with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that doesn't sound great, but you know, we've had the discussion where the years of development here and increases that we've gained from those revenues from that development, you know, have really benefited our community to where we haven't had to make a consideration of increasing the taxes. But we're at that point where it's the data's telling us we need to make a change. And I just look at it from a standpoint of every year we all face increased costs. Yeah, sure, sometimes things go down, but on average, more things go up.
Right, and if it did go up too much, like if we were receiving more than what we projected, far beyond, you know, what we should be, then, which I don't think so, this is the projection for our total property assessments in the township, but if it did, we could always opt to decrease as well.
We
So
could.
it's an option.
No, that's a fair point.
And if it made sense after we reassessed it for the next budget year as well.
I mean, for me, in simple terms, we've went through the budget. We've cut everything we can back as much as we can. I mean, sure, you could take another pass, but you're not going to get $600,000 out of what's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not possible. You might find another, say, we could spend another 2 hours and we might find another 25 or 50K. So for me, it's somewhere between, I've got to cover the deficit, which tells me I need to be close to 1.8 mils. If I want to be able to support things that we cut, such as capital equipment, paying down some of the principal on the loan, then we should look to the 2 mil mark.
I feel that would be a bit more fiscally responsible of us to at least go a little bit above our deficit.
And then, like you said, if we become fortunate again for whatever reasons, we could always make adjustments.
Correct.
That's all I have to say.
We're in this position because over the years, we haven't had to raise taxes. But when I came in 4 years ago, I cautioned about that we should probably start little increments. I don't want to say yearly, but as needed to supplement and build up our cash reserves. The economy hasn't been kind to us as far as utility costs. Our expenses are the same as your home expenses, but on a grander scale. I just think it's important, we have to be good stewards of the community here and look ahead. And I think we need to look at doing a tax increase. The amount is, what'd you say we need to cover the deficit?
600,000.
600,000. So, that's a minimum of 1.8 just to fill that gap. We don't know what the future is going to be. Hopefully it gets better, but we can't predict that. 1.8 gets us to that break-even point. And hopefully we get some bluebirds in. And in the future, we can always lower it if we are doing well. We still have a DEC study to be done on the fire companies. We've eliminated the fire hydrant tax, which is, I think, fair because everybody benefits from the fire plug, whether it's 600 feet from your house or a half a mile from your house. That's all the comments I have right now.
Well, I heard loud and clear from a lot of residents last evening, and they're struggling to pay their bills, like all of us are. We have a lot of elderly residents within our township. It's tough going to the store, tough going over the Giant and getting a cart of groceries and then getting gas in your car. I am cognizant to the fact that we do need to raise taxes to stay up with inflation, but if we do raise taxes, I wanted to phase it in so that it's a slow progression to get up to where we want to be. I would suggest we start off at like 1.75 mils or 1.8 with the full intention that we'll see what next year brings. And if we have to raise it a little higher after that, we do. I don't know what's a 0.5% bring in there. That would take us around the 600,000 mark, I think. So we're nickel and diamond, but nickels and dimes matter to our people out there. So I'm sorry that we haven't started increasing taxes long ago. We haven't increased taxes for 20 years. Now, if you compound that savings that we did not raise taxes when everyone else was raising taxes, that's a savings right there, but that's water under the bridge. So I agree with you, gentlemen, that we gotta raise it, but the point I'm trying to make is let's make it hurt as less as possible for our residents. Because this could be a continuing thing depending on how our inflation goes and all that stuff. So we may have to revisit this again next year. And that wouldn't be very popular, but it's the right thing for us to do for our citizens. So,
And I agree with that. So if you went and split the difference and went in at 1.75 mils, my quick guess would be that we'd be just north of 600,000, maybe somewhere around 610, $620,000. We're sitting with a $606,000 deficit after scrutinizing everything. Again, if we sat here for another hour, we might get another 20 to 50,000 bucks. But all that being said, I'd say I'd be amenable to either 1.8 mils or 1.75 mils.
There again, if we do that, we're just hitting the bare minimum, we're just staying up with inflation, and we're not going to save anything for future capital equipment expenses.
That is correct. The only way that comes about is if we're fortunate and there's some warehouse sale, some development starts to happen, and land is transferred for millions of dollars. So again, every $1 million of real estate sale brings us $5,000.
Yeah, 0.5%.
Yeah, so a $10 million sale is only $50,000. So that basically means to get a bucket truck, need to sell $50 million worth of land or real estate above and beyond the norm.
That would be unlikely.
That's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
I mean, do I have those numbers right? Because I know some years we got, like a couple $100,000. Is my math right? I feel like it's wrong. I think my math is wrong. Hold on a second.
While you're doing that, I just want to say this was a fun fact that our attorney gave me with his research that he's done. He represents a lot of municipalities. And I just wanted to say this for the record as well. The last countywide property assessment in York County was 2006. The taxable assessment value for property and the millage rate for the township have remained the same since 2006. Therefore, the dollars paid in taxes have been level for approximately 19 years. The average rate of inflation during that time has been 2.49%. Using a backward inflation calculator, paying $100 in taxes in 2006 equates to $62.67 in 2025. So the tax rate in East Manchester Township has actually gone down by 37.33% over the last 19 years. And this decrease in inflation adjusted tax revenue has been plugged by the new residential developments, industrial developments, and transfer taxes collected on transfers of high value industrial properties. So I thought that was really interesting, interesting fact. Then he did write me about the Northeastern School District. Now, obviously, that is not our tax rate. This board does not govern the school tax. That, anyone with an issue with that should go to their school board. But I just thought this was interesting from him. So about them having the highest tax rates in the county behind York City, you have to dive deeper. Northeastern School District has a higher tax rate because the property assessment values are lower in the township and surrounding communities compared to other parts of the county. And when I started diving deeper into RAAC, RAAC gives you statistics on housing and everything. Basically, what that was showing was, Andy's right, Attorney Miller's right. The reason why our property assessments are lower is because the northern part of York County is closer to Harrisburg, which is a metropolitan area, so it's higher. And then when you go more southern in York County, they're higher because they're close to Maryland line. And then you have all the commuters. So that is why the tax rate for the school district is higher. It's because of our lower tax assessments.
Comment?
Yep, go for it. Oh, sorry, I'm not the chairman.
My opinion is I would rather pay 2 mills now than you put it in.
Should we get you a microphone maybe so that it hits it on the live stream, what you're saying?
Please.
Thank you. Sorry.
No comment.
I would rather see the 2 mills now than you taxing at 175 or 180. And we're in the same deal next year. And then you have to raise it again, more, just my opinion.
That's a good point.
You're only looking at a difference of $20, $25 between 1.8 and 2 per household. It's not very much.
And I appreciate that. I think,
To have a little bit of reserve,
and again, it's one of those things where I'm going to suggest we may be more fortunate than others in this community, where the person that spoke last night that did some taxes or something for folks. Yeah, I mean, we all know that exists here. It exists in every community. We can't solve that, unfortunately. So I do appreciate your comments on that.
And as you said, you can't find another several $100,000 in that budget to cut. You have made some significant reductions, and there has to be a little bit left at the end. We can't cut it to the bare minimum, or you wind up, even cutting all the maintenance budget to nothing. You're still not wiping out the deficit totally.
No, and I appreciate that. And it is that because we literally are putting his crew and what they do at risk by not being able to replace the equipment that is necessary for them to do the job that we've come to expect.
And they still may not be able to replace the equipment, but at least they'll be closer to, by the end of '26, they would probably have the money to be able to order a truck.
No, and I appreciate those comments because you are correct. And unless something of significance that's unforeseen happens, a major storm comes through, but then all bets are off at that point.
Yeah,
Right?
then you still have the money in reserve, though. If you had to spend it for something and come up that was an emergency, then you had the money, but if not, then at least he has, half of the cost of the truck in '26, and then by the end of the middle of '26, this time '26, you'll have an idea whether he'll be able to go forward for getting his truck in the middle of '27.
No, and all good comments. And I think the other thing too, which I'm starting to wrestle with, is I know we took out the loan for all the right reasons, to have our cash reserves for emergency purposes. But one of the things too, along the lines of what you're saying, is while we might not be totally at a vehicle, I'm assuming, Shane, that we could pay for some part of it and they'd be willing to finance the other part, assuming we'd be able to do that, right?
Oh, I would assume, yeah.
So that's another option where we might not have the whole amount saved up, but we might have, say, 30% of it or 50% of it. We could certainly consider that option. Going the full way to 2 mills does give some breathing room.
Is that a question you can put out to the residents? When do you have to make a decision?
Tonight.
Oh,
Tonight.
okay.
Because timing is of the essence. That was the whole purpose of announcing this meeting and being able to come here and make a decision.
I thought a lot more people were going to be here, for sure.
My comments haven't changed, and the facts are the facts.
2 views, 3 at the most, and then 1 dropped out. And there was at least 17 people who hit. I was looking at the statistics. People will start watching and then they cut off.
Gotcha.
They stopped watching.
Thanks, Christy. I think the facts are that we've got a $606,000 deficit after literally almost over 2 hours of going through the numbers. And there's only one option left to make that up, and that is tax increase. Though that is the fact. And it's either closing the gap at, say, 1.8, which gives relatively no cushion if anything goes bump in the night, versus going to 2 mills. So I'm riding the fence. Those are my comments.
I'll say this in regards to saying that I'm in favor of a tax increase, just so that other people are going to second guess this later, is that the fact we are both retired, we're living at 50% less than what we were living at when we were both working. So if I can afford the extra $25 or whatever, I would think that the people that are still working, I mean, it may be tough, but, you know, they can scrape together. They probably spend that on their coffee or whatever every day, you know, buying coffee. They could, you know, they could maybe give up 2 coffees a week or something if they had to. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to be facetious, but, you know, the $25 is not, I mean, we're both, like I said, we're both retired. We're living on 50% less than what we were when we were working. So the average working family, I think, should be able to afford this.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm on a fixed income. I get a pension and social security, and that's it. So I try and take care of every penny and dime, nickel I got, like everybody else. So,
And- oh.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to verbally, since anyone who does watch the live stream and for the minutes too, I was just gonna just brush over what we did for examples on the flyer, just to put it in perspective. So we're just gonna do 2.0 mils to make this simple, right? So at an annual tax per $100,000 value of your tax assessment, not what your property would sell for, but the assessment, which is much lower. It would be $200 a year to the local real estate tax. And then that would mean a $96 increase from what they're paying now. And then that actually goes to $8 per month. But once again, that's per $100,000 of your property assessment. I asked Kathy what the average was, and it is between $150,000 and $175,000 assessments in our township. So I did, you know, both worlds there as a breakdown. And for $150,000 tax assessment at 2 mills, would equate to about $12 a month for their taxes, and that's at face value. So once you take off the 2% discount, it's actually a little less than that a month. And then at $175,000 property assessment at 2 mills, that would be about $14 a month, and that's at face value. Once again, when you take the 2% discount off, because most people pay a 2% discount, it would be a little less than that. So just to put it in perspective.
So I'll have to, before I go and ask what wishes are, I'm going to ask staff. Staff's recommendation is what number?
I'm just gonna make a brief statement and then I will tell you. When Jen and I first did the draft budget, before we made it to this meeting, our deficit number was obviously much higher. It was almost 1.4 million of a deficit. We got it down, like Dean summarized. We reduced it by $800,000. That is a lot better than what we were thinking. So that's great. And, but as I hear comments from my employees and staff here, it sounds like you should probably go with 2.0 mils. And the reason why is because during this whole entire conversation, we talked significantly about putting money aside for these items that we are going to need. And if we only raise it to cover the deficit, we're not going to be able to do that. And we're still paying interest into that loan. So in my opinion, paying that off quicker is important. And also, and I know that it wasn't like a big conversation, but I'm gonna fall back on fire department as well with the DCED, study that we're doing, because we don't know what that holds. And I mean, I'm sure we'd have to do a plan of action for whatever comes out of that, and we'd probably be budgeting for that in 2027, but at least we could have something or an idea of what 2027 is then looking like for that. So I think it's good planning, and I'm gonna keep reiterating it. If we find we're bringing in too much, we can lower it. And it's that simple.
Thank you.
Yep. And Jen, do you have anything to add, being the accountant?
I was just going to say that I think that you should make it 2 mills as well because of the reserve, kind of, and just what Christy said, the loan, I believe, will have we'll be able to budget better with 2.0, I believe. So that's all I have.
Shane, any comments?
No.
What's the board's wishes?
I say 2.0 mils for all the reasons that have been mentioned. Period.
We'll need that in the form of a motion so that we can discuss
Well,
it
then
then.
I will make the motion that we should consider increasing our real estate tax millage rate from 1.04 mils to 2.00 mils, effective in 2026.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
One comment I have, excuse me, is I'm disappointed in as many times as we've advertised this, and even with the big crowd last night, we put out that we're doing this, and we only have 2 citizens that show up.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we can do,
Okay.
but I'm sure we'll get some feedback after this.
Any further discussion?
None for me.
I got to tell you that I do recognize the fact that, just like office staff up fronts needs steno pads and laptops and printers and stuff like that, copiers. Our road crew needs equipment to maintain our roads to the standard that our people are used to. The equipment and the operators are the lifeblood of a township. They're the ones out there plowing snow and people see. And I do recognize the fact that we can save in a capital fund for that. But I must caution against going right up to 2.0 mils right away. Or our constituents are hurting out there, and I'd rather see it lower than that. But that's my comments. So I'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Motion carries 2-1.
Okay.
So that'll take us into public comment. I'm going to go to Joyce first.
I have none. I commented about the tax.
Howard?
We doing anything with posting anything on Facebook yet? Putting it on social media, just
Yeah.
in general about the meetings or anything, just
Yes.
Let me comment on that, if I may. Number one, in order to do that properly and professionally, you really need a professional media person. And last time I checked, I don't think any of our current staff members have that in their wheelhouse, do they? Secondly, they don't have extra time and bandwidth, because once you post on those social sites, because here's my background in where I deal with the agencies that I deal with in tolling environments. Obviously, they're big billion-dollar entities, but they have people that do nothing but that all day long. And if you start posting on those sites and you don't respond timely, that is a bigger problem than doing nothing. We have our website. and we post things on other sites, like I guess the police Facebook to announce things. But to take on the task of involving the township with other social media platforms, that to me is an increased cost to do it properly.
To post meetings, just like you're posting on the website, to post the same information?
I think the moment you open those accounts up, you run the risk of, if you can't shut off comments or whatnot, creating more issues.
We've just watched neighboring municipalities have mayors or elected officials start to argue with people online because they, just for me monitoring Facebook the past week, I have grown significantly more stressed, would be the appropriate way to say that.
Yeah,
Because
I
it really
understand, you know,
damages your mental health reading that stuff.
but just posting, you know, that there's a meeting, you know, not getting into comments, turning comments off, that there's no comments, you're not back and forth with anybody, and you don't take comments from the public, just the fact that we're stating that there is a meeting, this is a general supervisor's meeting, this is a zoning meeting, this is the planning, everything that you're putting on the website, having, you're talking about having transparency. No, nobody wants to have to go to the website to look up this stuff. If, you know, everybody's looking at Facebook, looking at social media, so if it's there also, that's just one more step that you've taken, that there's no excuses somebody can't come to a meeting.
I don't
Well,
understand that.
yeah, so I
Okay.
think then, here's what my recommendation would be. if I
Yeah.
may. Number one, I don't do social media, full stop, period. And because of that, I don't know what I don't know. So my recommendation would be, we have an IT person. I would ask questions like, can we set up a Facebook account where comments can be turned off so that we can post? If those capabilities, I'd be more amenable to doing it, because then it becomes nothing more than an extension of our website. And as we redesign our website, if we want to turn on those social media platforms where comments aren't allowed, then that website should be able to filter into those social media platforms in some way, shape, or form. I don't know that specifically, but just how technology is moving and how things are tied together, those things could be potential things. Because I will give you one example. So for EasyPass, you go to Pennsylvania Turnpike EasyPass website, or some of the ones in New York, those websites are also replicated through their mobile apps, and they are tied together with some back-end technology, okay? That's as much as I know on that front. So I think it's something we could ask a question, and if we could turn comments off, I'd be amenable to looking into it, because then it wouldn't require a media person to manage those comments and do those things, because you're just replicating the postings of what we put on our website, essentially. That's where I'm at.
Here's what I recommend. I talked to Jason after the meeting last night about how we can get more transparent without going into the Facebook and everything. And we can set up what the school sets up, which is called an email blast. Residents would call in here and register their email address. And then you would get on that distribution list any activity that's coming up that's interest to the public, or a special meeting, location change, or anything like that, would go out to your phone and give you an email.
It's very,
Yeah.
and it is very helpful.
And you call it, it's like Savvy Citizen. We can do that via the web page too. Like I envision Deb doing it and typing in and hitting one button, and it goes out to that distribution list. I wanted to run that by the supervisors, because it's, you know, we all have to agree that, yeah, that might be of interest to do. Whether they want to sign up or not, it's up to them then. But we do provide the streaming service, which is not that hard to get on. We advertise it out here, we advertise it in the paper, and believe it or not, contrary to popular belief from last night, is that we do go well above the legal limits to what we have to do. And it's very disappointing to me, with all the hoopla and all the stuff going on social media and all that stuff, that 2 dedicated citizens showed up tonight for the meetings. 2.
I'm
And-
not surprised.
And we had how many viewers? A handful.
Yeah.
Oh, it was consistently 2. One time it was at 3 watching the live view, and then that person, someone dropped off, but then it looks like about 17 or 18 people started to watch it and then jumped off and was like, I'm not watching it.
Maybe you should have started with, well, tonight we're having a tax increase. Pay attention.
Well, we basically did. I announced it last night that we're having the meeting. They know, it's on Facebook that we're talking about a tax increase.
Well, and also on October 14th, you literally told everybody that we were having a tax meeting or a budget meeting and talking about a tax increase. And I had flyers over there for people to take with them. So they definitely knew, and it got out there because it was all over their pages.
It's repeated on there.
Yeah.
Fine by doing the tax.
It was 20 minutes, 20 minutes after 6. And I'm looking out in the parking lot. And I had an oh my moment. Is everybody up at the fair hall trying to get in? So I had Shane take
It's not why you laugh.
take a township truck to go up and circle in case somebody was up there, because I wanted to make sure they knew where the meeting was, and we'd hold the meeting up for them. But it's so it's beyond disappointing for me. It's disheartening. And I'm like Christy, the more I read about this stuff, and I haven't for the last few days, but it's just, my faith in humanity kind of took a hit.
Well, everybody's me. Just like we were saying about how and I work on the budget. You know, just like the township works on the budget. Some days you gotta go over it a little bit. But you don't see us, we know how to stay on the budget. You don't see me running to Starbucks 3 times a day. or-
4 actually, however we count it.
But,
What?
but we have, historically, we have 8 solid people that show up, 8 to 10. And just because of one hot topic that people, I'm here to tell you that people don't understand. They don't understand what we're trying to do or what we need to do. And I tried to explain that tonight. I went away from that last night's meeting feeling pretty good, that we got through to a lot of people. But just trying to educate them is all we want to do, because we got to do what we got to do. And I'm on a budget. I live next to a warehouse, and we all experience the same trials and tribulations with trucks. And it's not that we want that. We can't really stop warehouses from coming in. If they meet all the criteria, they'll sue us if we don't allow them.
It'll soon stop when everything's built out.
Yeah.
That's allowable.
So that's my deal for tonight. It's just, I was shocked.
You missed one topic too. We did pay to legally advertise the meeting too.
Yeah.
But we will, there's a lot of things that we've learned through all those discussions. And I took copious amounts of notes. We are going to start live streaming, I hope, if we all agree, if the supervisors agree. Live streaming zoning hearing meetings and planning meetings and everything, so that they have the ability to just click and view. So,
It can't really be any easier for people these days as far as it goes. I mean, you know.
We are talking about improving our website for next year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I'm questioning in my mind when I'm trying to work out how this would roll out. If we're going to add a mechanism to the website, I would hate to try to get everyone to sign up to this temporary solution
I would-
just to
Well,
have
I
to
would
read.
put,
That's
I would
fine.
put that in the new website. I would not
Yeah.
implement any of this if that's the plans to move forward.
Right.
Because there's a whole bunch of new stuff. I mean, when's the last time the website was truly redesigned?
It was, time goes so fast anymore, huh?
5 years ago?
It was right before you became supervisor, Dean.
So 3 years ago.
Yeah,
ballpark.
maybe even 4 years, it might have been 4
I'm
years.
gonna say before, because I
Yeah.
remember the website and calling about, can you put the agenda on the website? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Garrard Farm was coming up and I was like, well, what's it about? What's the agenda?
we have to get something temporary in place though, because we have a lot of important meetings coming up. I mean, the data center thing could possibly go to zoning hearing. It could, it's going to go to planning commission again, and I want people to be able to see that from the comfort of their home or their phone if they're at
And Dave-
soccer practice or something, you know?
Sorry to interrupt you, but, and I agree with you, it's important. So the only ask I would have is that if we do something with the current website, make sure it's as transportable as possible into whatever we do next.
Yeah, I agree with that statement, Dean, and that's up for Jason too. Jason said he alluded to me that was easy to do, so.
Yes, I'll talk to him and we'll brainstorm. If it's not transferable, I do know Savvy Citizen is. And they integrate where all I have to do is update Savvy Citizen, I think I said it earlier, and it'll automatically post to the website as well, so I only have to enter it once.
Yeah.
And then it notifies everybody.
And I'm sure there's a fee to doing that, but.
That's nice too, that Savvy Citizen, because I live in Dover and Dover has that and it works really great. And you can actually on there, like I have Dover picked, but you can pick other places that have that as well too. And it'll show you things that are going on in those areas too. Like, you know, if they have, you know, a carnival or they have something going on in their school or whatever.
I'm assuming it's a subscription-based service.
Yeah.
It is, so that's the other thing.
So just find the cost and let's juxtapose the two, find out what Jason can do, and let's find out if Savvy Citizen is good as what you like and it's transferable and it's plugged into stuff, then great.
The only,
I think what we need to do tomorrow is make the link that's on our website a different color or larger or something, so it's prominent. The two
I can do
colors,
that.
the two colors are so,
Yeah, the colors aren't
it's hard to
good,
find it.
okay.
and I'm not colorblind.
I gotta base myself on 70-some years old going in there and finding that, you know, talking about myself.
Yep, I can do that.
Well, I was looking at you too, Joyce, but
Well, didn't Mike Fisher do some research on Savvy and a couple other things? We're finding out that it's really expensive. And the other thing you have to watch is if we do it by a zip code that you can sign up, we're gonna get kind of a lot of people on the 17345.
Nope, so when I already did do a little bit of research into this. They actually do it by municipality, by your tax parcel ID. I don't know how they do it,
Okay.
but they seem to, it didn't go by zip code. I had to actually find East Man, they had us listed under York County. So I thought that was interesting. Now, we can dive deeper and I'll ask Jason questions and everything too. But just on my preliminary research, it seemed like it knew what it was doing.
Cost?
Yeah, it was over $1,000.
I mean, that's my concern. I think,
$1,000 a year?
and I think there can be a link on the website where you
That's
click
It was
important.
like a month ago when I looked at
Well,
it.
it's important.
sign up.
It definitely is, but I'll figure that out soon.
well, you have to sign up. What's
Yeah,
your email?
Like, if I
Yeah,
can go
you
with a
just-
free
you enter
option,
it
I
and-
will.
I understand.
And then like
Yes,
once a
but I
year,
don't know.
you should
I
send
know
out,
Jen's watching
hey,
over your shoulder.
are you still on this? You still
I'm
wanna
more,
get-
I'm frugal. I just do
People
what they
do
want
it, I move.
Yeah,
You know,
guys,
this might be- might already have that.
sorry,
With you,
Yeah,
I apologize.
Fisher.
yeah, that's,
Mike Fisher may have a list of email addresses. I don't know what all he collects.
Okay.
Emergency management. So-
I do want to add one thing, is that the school, I had a bit of an issue with this, so I knew we were going to be talking about this eventually, but the school district, or it was a teacher who's with the school district, who is on PTO, the PTO committee or whatever.
sabbatical,
Huh?
a sabbatical?
Parent-teacher organization.
Yes, thank you, Dean, that is correct. And she was saying, if you have a Savvy Citizen, can you start advertising our PTO events? And I was like, why would we do that? The school should be doing something for them, because I know Spring Grove sends us updates for their PTO all the time in that group email, thing. So what I was starting to really brainstorm is I think they're trying to pull in fundraiser from people who aren't just on the email list for the school, which are people with kids.
Yeah.
So they're trying to reach a greater population. And I don't know how you guys feel about, allow, like, that'd be another thing for me to have to constantly update is for updates. And the only other thing is if they, yes, if they want to pay into it and they also are an admin with me, then okay, I'd be okay with that.
Not admin.
One last comment I have is that, Darren, you brought this up to me. I don't think we should utilize the York County Regional Police Department Facebook page unless it's an emergency.
Yep.
I said that to Christie about they need to remain neutral.
Yeah.
Not involved in politics.
He had already, the chief or the deputy chief had already posted it after you
Yeah.
talked to me, so,
Well, I appreciate him doing that.
Yep.
But we won't do that in the future probably.
yeah. Yeah,
Any
that's
other-
fine.
Any other comments? Anyone? Staff?
No, I'm good.
We
Shane?
still have the other, are we gonna look at the other funds yet?
Oh my gosh, the other
Oh,
funds.
Janet, go.
Look at
Good.
Jen go.
We
I mean,
can't
it
adjourn
shouldn't take
yet.
that long, but yeah, we need to at least look at them.
Well, let's do it quickly.
Yeah, these won't take long.
Oh,
Go ahead,
my-
Jen. Run us through it.
Hold on, let me get it up.
You're talking liquid fuels and that sort of stuff. aren't you?
Yes,
Well,
street
Street
lighting,
lighting
yeah.
lights and yeah.
So here's the street
It's
lighting
at the back
fund.
of that one, it should be.
Looks good.
So
Yeah,
my only,
looks good.
Did I just
my,
give you
my
the
only
general
question
fund?
in these funds, because here's the highlights. Historically, whatever money's sitting in the cash account has been
Oh, you do?
appropriated in the expense
sure?
lines, correct?
Hold on, one more, they're not listening down here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Real quick, go ahead.
So Jen, for these other accounts, these special accounts, I'll call them, what typically happens is whatever we estimate being in the total cash line, we then put in the expense line so that we appropriate all those funds in the event we need them. And the only issue we ran into last year was on the one for the tax collector is the calculation of the commission earned
hydrant.
was not reflected properly. Did we correct that in this year?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Then we can quickly glance through these because A equals B. Cash in equals expenses out appropriated, and they're being totally appropriated in the event we need access to those monies.
Correct.
So it's literally a wash. Can you show me the one that was where the tax collector was?
It was the fire hydrant. And remember, this is gonna go away anyways.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Then, I mean, I'd make a motion to accept these additional funds if you want to page through them in the videos so everybody can see them. But I'd make a motion to accept them as presented for the 2026 budget.
Okay, if you would please, in the motion that you're going to prepare the budget for the counter for public viewing.
Yes.
The one other question I
also
did
put
have
on
for
the
you guys I'm sorry, Christina, I'm cutting you off.
Nope, you're good.
Was for this one here, the rec fund, that we were paying almost all the rec things out of it, like all the park stuff, out of the 454, 370, the park maintenance one. Did you all want me to keep doing that for next year?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
okay, I just wanted to confirm
Yep.
that, okay.
Any expenditures that are,
That I can take out,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
All right,
And-
that's the only question that I really had on these other ones.
And that includes the labor expended by,
yes.
Yes, I'm actually going to, send an email to Nick, one of the auditors
Okay.
tomorrow, and just confirm with him that it's okay that we do that way.
Yep.
And see what he says, and I can let you know then, Dean,
okay,
like I can email you.
I'm good.
or-
Yes, sir.
So your motion,
My motion was to approve the 2026 budgets for all the special funds as presented, which basically is cash in equals we appropriating all the cash in for our expenses. So,
and
And-
in the general budget.
and the general budget as presented earlier with the, reflecting the 2.00 mils increase, along with the 2.5% salary increases for township employees. and to prepare these budgets so that they are available to the public on our counter as well as website.
Correct.
I'll second that.
And I believe I have to advertise this as well.
Yes, yeah, we
I
do.
have to advertise it.
Do you want me to add that to the motion? And to advertise it.
Thank you.
And you'll second the amended motion?
I second the amendment, yeah.
Okay, now, discussion.
I'm
The
discussing.
only discussion I have is, maybe it's all subject, but what Christie read earlier about the real estate taxes and the years it has been raised, but the county hasn't raised the millage rate, I'm sorry.
The assessment.
Yeah,
Assessment.
assessment, that's what, thank you. That, I think that should also be put on so people can read that if they want to read it.
I have to amend
But
the
that's an
flyer.
excellent point that brought out in that.
Amend that in the flyer.
Sure, I can do that.
So I'm straight in my mind. We are going to use the tax increase to stay with inflation,
Yes.
stay with or above inflation. Repay our loan,
Yes,
and to fund a capital equipment fund.
yes.
Okay. I want to make sure that's in the minutes. Because we do have to put money in there for Shane to build upon.
Yeah, and so we can close this motion, but I will have a question about the capital reserve fund.
Okay, so we'll close. Any other comments?
No.
I'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying
Aye.
Aye.
motion.
So
I-
Mike,
I-
go ahead.
Yeah, I can vote for that motion, but I don't vote for the increase, okay?
Right. Yeah, you're voting to move forward with
Yeah,
the presenting of it. When it comes to the capital reserve fund, I know we talked about this before. We did not set it up for 2025 because we didn't have enough time logistically to pull that off. What do we need to do? I mean, we can do this hopefully at the next meeting because I don't know that it needs to be set up January 1. But whatever it takes, it'd be nice at the next meeting to know what it is we need to do, pass a motion or motions to get it set up. And then the only thing would be is tell us what's the minimum deposit amount of money we need in the bank to set up, that if there needs to be a special bank account set up for it. Or if it can just be done, Jen, with like journal entries or something like that.
That's what we were gonna figure out. We're going to call Pliget, Christy and I, to see what advice they can give us for that, because we have that one big.
Talk to the
client
auditors
account.
too, please.
I'm sorry?
Talk to the auditors too, because
Yes.
if it's just a journal entry on our side, then the money can stay
Yeah, that's
wherever.
what I was thinking. Yeah, I can track it some other way, to keep it separate for those items.
And it's working out all those logistics, so when we come to the next meeting, we know what we need to do so that we ultimately get it set up and start with whatever we need to. And then as we move through 2026, we can start setting money aside as the budget tells us we can, as our actual numbers come in.
Do you want to start trying to set up our financial review quarterly meetings for next year? Or do you want to wait until our reorganization meeting where we would just advertise everything all at once maybe?
Yeah, my recommendation would be, so the first quarter ends March 31st. So sometime in April, we could commingle with one of our supervisor meetings, or it could be separate.
And just set up a schedule for that.
Yeah. But, so you'd have April would be your first quarter, July would be your second quarter, and technically October would be your third quarter review.
Okay, yeah,
There's
and
only 3 reviews.
There's 3 quarterly reviews because as you roll into the budget.
you
and-
can't do it at the last.
Yeah, and then
Right.
I think, we generally produce our audited financials, when is it? Usually, is it March or April they're ready?
Yeah, and actually, that's another thing that, now, I'm glad you brought that up, Dean, because it reminded me, they did pay us, or I'm pretty sure it's almost ready to be passed. I was on the website, I forget the bill number though, but basically what it does, is it pushes that last DCED report, the auditor's part that they do, out to June 1st instead of April.
Okay.
Because I guess some of the auditors were having trouble, because a lot of the auditors also do like taxes and things, so they're swamped at that time.
And a
So
lot
I
of
think
12
they
months of
were
work in 3 months.
lobbying or
Yeah.
something to get that done, so I believe that's going to be pushed out, so now it might be later.
So we won't have our
That's fine.
audited financials. So then what we need to do is, I'm gonna suggest that in February, you tell me end of the year comes for you, or do you have our year-end financials wrapped up in January, or do you have them wrapped up in like early February?
Well, once he does the audit, he always comes back and has some like ending, adjusting entries.
No, I'm talking pre-audit. So like December 31st, you wake up in January, you come to work in January 26th. When are you wrapping up the December kind of financials before they're ever audited? Because
I usually have, it's just a matter of doing the reconciliations and things
Okay.
is all.
So then I would say there in February, again, if we want to do, it'd be like, hey, here's what the end of 2025 came in at pre-audit,
Yes,
especially if the auditors won't have our audited financials till like July.
yeah, and that's just, that report there is just kind of like I guess, I don't even know what to
It's
call it.
preliminary, it's pre-audit, it's
Yeah,
preliminary
that's-
numbers.
Yeah, that last report that they do is the big one, so.
Those are the
I
audited.
do all the other ones, but they do that one.
Yeah, so that's my recommendation.
Would you want that to be a separate meeting, or do you mind if it's in a board of supervisors meeting? Do you think that would be a very lengthy conversation? Probably at most, if you're like, wow, well, we're not this year, we're not gonna have a surplus, except for what we're already having for operating reserves, so.
We could use this, the second meeting that's scheduled in the month, if you wanted to be separate from the normal ones that we typically have, the whatever Tuesday, sorry, my brain's on
Yeah, I know. I'm
overload right now. But it's up to the other supervisors as well as to what do they prefer. I don't mind commingling stuff, it just has the potential to be a longer evening, that's all,
Mhm.
depending on what's asked.
We could always enact the second advertised meeting, so that I don't have to do additional advertisements,
Yeah, that's what I would do.
if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Like,
so,
I could always put it on the agenda,
and then we could,
and then if you're like, we don't have time to get into this, it's a late night, let's move it to the second advertised
we
meeting.
could move it
do
around
that.
in the agenda too, depending on what the topics are. And so it wouldn't be a problem, like if we're in that Tuesday meeting and say, we're running out of time, we're getting late, let's go ahead and we'll catch this up at the Thursday? Or second?
Well, no, we gotta move it now, because it interferes with the police meeting,
Okay.
so, I can't remember what it is right now.
Fine, whenever you figure it out, but yes,
Yeah.
as long as we have that flexibility, that's good.
Yep.
And then we get into this, as we wanted, this quarterly review cycle, so everyone gets an opportunity to see where we are year to date, we talk about it, and just helps us get so much more prepared for the budget.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was helpful. We did feel like we were way more prepared this year than
Than when the
any other year,
Than when the
because
tornado came in.
Well, speaking of a long night, any comments from staff, Shane, Jen? Christie,
I have nothing.
any final comments from anyone?
No, sir.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that. Maybe you can second
All in
it.
favor?
Aye. Thank you, folks. Have a good night. Are we done streaming?
Not quite
Turn the
yet.
mics off.